What's up, everybody? This is your boy Narik. That's cool. We are here with another episode of the Soundflick Podcast. This is episode 70.
7-0?
Yes, sir. We got to 7-0.
So far.
I have my co-host with me. To my left, I got
Hello, my name is A Sincere.
the sincerest of them all.
I am.
And then in front of me, I got
Skywalker Mike.
the Skywalkerist of them all.
Me and Noah started calling my Skywalker Michael because it sounds cool.
Yeah.
Skywalker Michael.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wants me to do a project
Called
with
Skywalker.
Michael Jackson songs.
Yeah.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, we'll see.
That's a dope idea.
No, I know it is.
Psychedelic Michael Jackson.
Like you can
songs would
just
be
do
fire.
like a cool mix, like with that. That'll go
Yeah.
hard. You got to get Jam Cam involved because he's a huge Michael
Are you?
Jackson fan.
I feel
That'd
like
be cool. Like if it's a psychedelic project and call it like Skywalker Psychedelic Jackson. I don't know.
Oof.
Like Michael but cycle. I don't know.
Skydelic Jackson.
Skycle.
Yikes.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know-
we'll go with that.
You know,
We'll
where
go
I'm
with
trying- you know
that.
where I'm trying to go with it.
We'll put it on the
multiverse.
drawing board and we'll throw darts at it. Let's see what's up.
So we are back. This episode is going to be talking a lot of Marvel things. We have Marvel movie that we
Yes,
watched
yes.
that we're going to
Hall
be
H.
discussing. We're going to be talking about what happened at San Diego Comic-Con.
So much.
And we are also going to be talking about some trailers that are coming out. DC is going to be sprinkled in there a little bit, as
Yeah.
well as some other big-time movies. And then we'll also conclude with all the things that we started watching and some of our streaming suggestions.
So much has happened. in the
Everybody
past few
needs to
weeks.
buckle up and get ready for this episode
If you're
of the
hungry,
Soundflick
you came to the
Podcast.
right place.
Make some noise. Hit me with the keyboard. Hit me with some noise.
No.
You know, it'd be crazy if he.
Yeah.
What
This
if,
noise. Go ahead. What you got?
like later on, when we're like have like way more funding behind us, we hire an organ player.
An organ?
Yeah, just
See,
someone just
Skywalker's with me. Oh, an organ player, huh?
yeah, bro, just to be like,
What kind of organ?
Like we're taking him to church.
Yeah, that'd be fire.
We get like some like.
Hit
yeah,
me.
that's
Yeah.
funny.
Bro, that'd be fire. Just yeah.
We can do that. Let's get Nabi in like in the corner while
Low
we're
key,
recording.
Nabi would be down.
That
He just-
reminds me of what iCarly did when they had, like, they were trying to, the episode where they're trying to make it into a show, like for TV, and then they have the guy on the keyboard, the guy from Victorious.
Yeah.
he ended
Andre.
up being Andre. Yeah,
Fun fact: he now produces for Drake. But yeah, I know what you mean.
Nice.
That's crazy.
Hey,
I like
He's
these
come a long
ideas.
way. He was good then.
He's good now.
Yeah.
I mean that kind of seems in line. Like they both coming from those kinds of shows, then getting
Yeah.
into the music industry.
That makes sense.
He probably sees himself.
I mean, Ariana Grande did it.
Same thing.
I love it. I should have
great.
been on
I think
Nickelodeon.
that's it.
I actually, fun fact, I auditioned for a Gatorade commercial when I was like 9.
Really?
Yeah.
Was it the one where like Gatorade comes out of the sweat?
No, I wasn't
Oh,
that athletic
like-
when I was 9.
I don't know, man. It would have been pretty
No,
cool.
it was like
It's iconic.
all I remember is like the last one. It was like Gatorade. It's what you need to succeed. And
You
then-
got to say that?
yeah,
Oh, that's dope.
but nothing ever happened.
Oh, man, I'm
Succeed,
sorry.
huh?
Gatorade is what you need to succeed.
Oh man.
It's your boy.
Skywalker, have you ever done anything for Hollywood?
No, I don't think so.
Or like commercials or anything like that growing up?
No. Sadly, no. I've been on TV in the background.
Oh, yeah?
of
For
a
what?
Jimmy Kimmel audience.
I'm dead.
Oh, that's cool.
That's about
So like
it.
when they pan to the audience, it was you?
Yeah, when they're like out on the outside stage and he's like standing in the middle.
Skywalker's
Yeah.
all,
Of the crowd,
He's all
yeah.
blown.
Oh,
just-
while he's talking, so it's like a long
Yeah.
shot of you.
It's
like,
actually
you're
it's
there in the
funny.
corner?
Cornbreeze is in there too.
That's
No
hilarious.
way.
Yeah, it's for
You
a
guys
concert.
went?
It was for Tame Impala free
Oh, that's fire.
concert. It was dope. It was cool. It was when pre-pandemic when things were fun.
Things felt normal.
Things are still
What
fun.
about you,
man.
Narik? Do you have any
We're getting back to fun.
hidden audition tapes or like?
Nah, not really. I mean, my brother was like a child
I
actor.
mean, you've been on that Taco Bell commercial.
Not
That-
really. Oh yeah, I was in the commercial.
Yeah,
Yes, I
I
was in the
remember that
commercial.
one.
I got the little, the
The
zoom
Fiesta
in.
pack one, right?
He,
Or what
It
is
was
it?
like
the party pack.
Well, the concept was like silence, like because you're with friends, like you don't have to talk, like it's just you and Taco Bell.
Yeah.
So I had to like look longingly as if
you
like,
don't need to
you could
talk about it.
Yeah,
I like
sure,
that.
man.
I like that.
So we did that, and then I didn't even know that it was gonna end up being on the NBA Finals and the NFL Finals. So that was pretty dope. Yeah, but my brother, he was like a childhood actor, and he was in a movie called Dave. which we got to bring him on the podcast and talk about that because that would just be fun.
The first time I'm hearing about this.
So he was on a movie called Dave with Calvin Klein and Sigourney Weaver, and he played a little orphan boy, like in this scene.
Not the little orphan boy.
Little orphan boy in the scene, but it was dope. Like I'm not gonna ruin it because it's a really cool story on like how everything happened.
Okay.
So we'll bring him on the pod to do that.
Cool.
But if you've ever seen that movie, Dave, or
I
if
haven't.
you should. It's funny. It's basically about the president dies and they find someone who looks just like him to replace him.
Oh wow.
And he's like the guy who replaces him. It's both played by Kevin. Is it Kevin Klein? Not Calvin Klein, but Kevin.
I was thinking, damn, Calvin Klein.
No, not Calvin Klein.
The underwear guy.
My fault. Not Calvin
the
Klein.
underwear
It's,
guy.
I think it's Kevin Klein.
I think it's Kevin Klein. That sounds about right.
And Kevin Klein. And one he plays like a serious, like a president, and then the other one he's like kind of comedic and kind of like blue collar and stuff, and ends up becoming.
I like
so
that.
It's a dope movie. You guys should definitely check it out.
And your brother was a little orphan boy.
He was a little orphan boy, but then also he. What I do remember is that when I was really, really young, I was on the set of a Michael Jackson music video, and it was for a song called "Childhood," and that's off the Free Willy soundtrack.
Yeah,
I was gonna say I don't think I've heard that
That's
one.
hard.
Yeah, it's
That's hard.
And my brother, he knows
it.
JFK knows all the songs, and my brother was in the music video for it, and I remember they were shooting it around Halloween because like there were people like dressed up like celebrating Halloween while they were shooting the music video. But the music video is not Halloween related.
That's
but
hilarious.
It's like Michael Jackson wasn't there, unfortunately, when I was there. But it's like these giant boats that are flying, and like he's like in the boats, and they're playing baseball.
wow.
It's like super crazy, And then Michael Jackson's like walking through the forest, like
Free Willy,
singing about his childhood, and it's a great song. It's a great song, but so go check that out. It's on YouTube.
I'll check it out.
Do you guys?
That's my only claim to fame.
Do you guys know Michael Jackson's
Vicariously through my
pronouns?
brother.
Mm-mm.
He.
It is he.
Yeah, I knew that was coming.
I love that.
I don't like it.
No,
I don't like it.
I don't know, man. I've been
It's
on the road.
disrespectful to the king.
Hey, man. You know what? He can come at me if he wants.
No, he can't.
Exactly. Exactly.
All right.
Yeah. Anyways,
Let's get down to this Thor: Love and Thunder.
yeah, man.
All right.
So we all saw the movie separate again.
I saw it half. I saw half
My
the
man
movie.
Sincere was sad about saying that.
We all saw it separate again.
I literally saw half of the movie because I fell asleep for the
Oh,
second
no.
half.
Wait, you felt okay? Wait,
Yeah, I
before we
fell
get
asleep.
into these kinds of takes, so tee us off, Sincere.
Yeah. So lore, Thor: Love and Thunder.
Oh,
Synopsis of the movie: we get Thor, and we also get Jane Foster back, and Jane Foster ends up being able to wield Mjolnir, based off of the comics where she gets cancer and is looking for some type of way to heal herself. Reads in, I forget what book in mythology she reads, but sees a Mjolnir has the healing powers. She goes to New Asgard, and boom, she
sort
turns
of
into Lady
healing.
Thor.
It doesn't really.
It doesn't
heal
heal you, but you are healed when you wield
Yeah.
Mjolnir.
Heal when you wield. I like that.
It actually makes it worse.
good
doesn't
shirt.
it? Like she gets
This is
sick
definitely
faster.
like some merch around there.
When you wear your armor of God.
Well, I guess she gets sick faster because she's not doing the chemo, right?
Right. So pretty much she's pausing in her human form without the Thor form. She is not progressing healing wise. So when she wields Mjolnir, she's fully healthy, but that means she would have to hold on to Mjolnir for the rest of her existence.
I think it's crazy that she hadn't been in a movie since Thor 2.
Black Swan wasn't.
No, and like
no,
Marvel.
like just
a
her,
Marvel
just Jane
movie.
Foster not being
yeah,
existent.
because the story was wrapped up. Like they didn't have.
I mean,
anything
there's
to do with
really,
her.
I mean, it's not like she had that big of a necessarily an impact as Selvig did.
Well, that's what they did. They decided to go with Selvig as the person that conveys all that information because technically it kind of should have been her. I feel like,
But
also
to
it kinda-
continue to know all of that information,
Right,
you know?
but also, I mean, it kind of touches based on it in Thor, where she gets all of her. She got a Nobel Prize, didn't she?
She like wrote like some books.
She wrote some
stuff,
books, and
she's
I know she got some type of like some award and being
Yeah.
acknowledged. But she went on and did her things separate from Thor to proceed in her career, and and they kind of talk about why their relationship split up, which was never really talked about before.
Yeah, I mean, Thor made reference to them not being together anymore, and that's all we got. So, like, honestly, I think it's an interesting and warranted direction to go, leading, like having all of the pieces in place. Like she's already in the MCU, you know, why not bring her back why not tell this story pretty much, you know? That's kind of how I felt about the Thor movie.
It's adding a lot of closure too, because a lot of people felt like it was just not
even like the closure. I mean, and this is gonna be a hot take that I'll get into later, because while all this is happening, there's other stuff that's going on in the movie that we'll talk about right now. But you know, it's just one of those things where it was kind of low-hanging fruit, right? And it's like, if we're going to tell a story, why create all of this other stuff when all the groundwork is already here?
Right.
Let's just assemble it in a way that's digestible, super easy. I'm sure the writing team had the easiest job in this particular story, because the story is so linear. Yeah, it's so linear. Like, you don't necessarily have to grow Thor. It would be nice, but you don't have to.
But it's also a part of it. I mean, he got his arc technically, and
he's done.
And he got his arc in Endgame.
Yeah, the Thor story is told. You know, now what we're getting is just Thor stories, like just plots of
the adventures of Thor.
Pretty much, you know, the adventures of Thor. So in this particular adventure, we have this villain called Gore, the God Butcher, who is killing all the gods using this special blade. And
Necro Sword, right?
Yes,
the Necro Sword.
This blade is called the Necro Sword, and it is the first symbiote of the Marvel universe. The first thing that Null, the king of Necro, whatever, in the symbiotes, he imbued the sword with that kind of alien. I don't want to call it tech, but just like that alien organism, bacteria, whatever it is. And that's like the first indication, which was pretty cool, because we know that the symbiote, we've had a couple references to the symbiote now. We have the sword, and then we have that little piece that Tom Hardy left
in Mexico.
In Mexico.
So my question is this the same sword that we saw at the end of the post-credit scene in Eternals?
No, it is not. So this sword,
because a lot of people were saying that could be the sword,
and that's understandable, because like now we're getting one of the things that I was gonna say with Phase 4 to that point is we're getting artifacts now. You know, like all of the Marvel artifacts are the things that are kind of popping up. So
especially in Eternals, they had a ship full of artifacts,
and that's like the point, right? And then you have Miss Marvel, she has the bangles. And then you have Shang-Chi and the 10 rings. He has, you know, it's all of these artifacts that are being brought into the MCU. So there's tons of swords, but that sword in Eternals is the Ebony Blade, and it has a different situation.
Do they mention that at all in Eternals? I feel like, oh no, they talk about Excalibur too.
But that was in the dialogue where I think it was Sprite or somebody said, "Is it the Ebony Blade?" And she said, "No, it was Excalibur."
Yeah, that's Excalibur. I remember that. Yeah. That was interesting to me, because it seemed like obviously it wasn't just a throwaway line.
Yeah,
but it seemed like foreshadowing, but in a different movie. Like, it's foreshadowing to a different movie, which it did, I suppose.
Yeah, just like cool. that theme of all of these artifacts that are kind of coming into play, because you know you have the Infinity Stones, but there are other magical things. Even Stormbreaker, you know, I think is like I think that's why this movie was so Stormbreaker centric, because again they're keeping with that universal theme of
it's also hilarious that these two artifacts, at least so far, meaning Mjolnir and Stormbreaker, are the only like artifacts that have personality traits now.
I was gonna ask you guys,
I think
what you guys felt about the humor part of that. I feel like with Thor movies, it's okay to have humor now, but I feel like every turn after every serious line, there has to be like some sort of humor break.
I mean, I think it's gonna apply different for every hero that has an artifact, because everybody's gonna address it differently, obviously.
But I feel like in this movie, it was a lot of jokes, including
that. To me, was like a Taika thing.
Yeah,
you know,
for sure.
Where it was just
especially with the goats.
Let's mess around with like, if you have two weapons, let's make them like they're your two like ladies.
That's, you
know,
where the love
your two
comes
kids,
in.
and that's where the love. Like, which one do you love more? It seems like it's just a funny thing in the writing room.
Yeah.
that like shouldn't actually be a part of the movie, but they were just like, oh, we're having fun talking about it, so everyone will probably have fun talking about it. It's like, no, don't do that.
From what I've heard, Kevin Feige actually stepped back and let like directors like director from Shang-Chi, Eternals, Doctor Strange, and Spider-Man pretty much let them do their own thing for once, as in like phase 1, 2, 3.
He was very hands-on.
I mean, I mean, you got to set the foundation, and like you have a vision for it. Now he's at a point where it's like we kind of can't do any wrong, so go ahead and go for it.
Yeah, like, I'm sure he steps in if there's like a big like a big.
He should have drew the line at the screaming goat though.
I don't know, man.
He probably, because how else do you bring? See, I think the funny thing is that the Marvel universe isn't always serious. There are the craziest and weirdest things that are within the Marvel universe.
Yeah, I mean, just going off, the Marvel universe is pretty freaking hilarious.
It's hilarious, you know. So it's like you have screaming goats, like they are there. And
it even lines up with Greek mythology because those two goats in mythology are Thor's goats.
And when you think about it, it's like, how do you
like that though? Like
I don't think so, but it's like, how do you bring it in? You know, like, do you bring them in all serious and with no personality?
No, I think with the goats, I mean, if they're screaming, goats scream like that even in today, like in actual life. So,
I mean,
I've seen the video.
Not only that, but they're god goats, so they need to scream louder.
I mean, I'm trying to shoot the Marvel universe some bail, like on just what's going on. Would I feel like that
some Christian Bale?
I should have said that. Honestly, that was I should have led with that. Anyway, one of the Marvel needs to start informing us about what to expect. And I think that is what will make the movies better. And what I mean by that, I want to be clear, because it's not tell us the direction that you're going in.
Yeah.
But we should have known that Thor was going to be a comedy. Almost like a children's comedy.
Yeah.
Like we should have known that that's the movie that they were making, so we can go in there and appreciate what it is. Because if you go and you watch the movie and you're like, hey, this is a children's comedy, romance comedy type film, then you go in with this sense of adventure, willing to go on it. But if you've just got done, you got the Eternals, you have a giant Eternal coming out the mountain, you got, all this multiverse, Spider-Man coming there, like, shit is fucked up, right? And then you give us a Thor movie where it's like, they're like, they're just making jokes and making fun. It's like, there's important things that are going on that we gotta address, and we're not addressing them.
Yeah, I think I was telling Sincere on the way here that like a lot of these movies feel a little forced, and some of the shows as well. But I mean, like you said, they don't think they can do any wrong, so they're just gonna keep going. But it kind of just feels like it's more than just a fatigue. It's like I kind of expect now that most of these movies that I'm gonna see in theaters are probably gonna be like a 7 at best.
Yeah, honestly, I think
the Marvel movies at least.
I think Phase 4 is just, I guess, lack of a better word, like all over the place, where it's just a lot of nuggets of things spread out, where hopefully in Phase 5 everything gets pulled in together. Because I mean, everybody's talking about the same thing, like not just us, like just.
I mean, the Phase kind of started off kind of muddy with Black Widow, especially being a prequel.
Yeah.
I'm gonna jump on the other side here. Phase 4 is gonna be remembered as a classic, and I say that because what we're dealing with right now is we're just a little upset because we didn't get. We're used to the formula. We're used to the Phase 1, Phase 2, Phase 3 formula. We're used to 11 movies.
Well, just everything's just progressing.
We're used to this linear thing, and it's like we knew who the big bad was. We knew what this buildup was, but from what they released in Comic-Con, these phases are going to be 2-3 years tops.
Oh yeah,
and it's like wait, no, I need years of anticipation.
Well, that's because the first phase, pretty much the first. Up until the past year took a little over 10 years, where we're going to get these early 2020s up until 2026 when the new Avengers movie comes out. That's half of that.
Yeah. And they're producing at a faster rate. Now, I think it's kind of like it's good. Everything that they've been doing
it's good.
has been really good.
I agree.
It's just that we're still in the process of changing our ways of looking at it.
It's kind of like what you said, though. They've set their standard. They don't think they can do wrong. But I feel like a lot of these shows and movies, they're just not coming out right with the CGI. You know, a good example, She-Hulk.
Marvel has a huge problem with that visual effects thing. Like, I don't think people really understand how big of a problem this is.
No, it's been pointed out. I mean, even the Doctor Strange.
They're talking about it. Yeah, but like, it's the actual people are talking about it now. It's not just like an opinion. Like, people who work at Marvel are corroborating this story, saying like, yo, they're working us 60, 70 hours. Like, it's not going to come out good. And if Marvel gets sabotaged from the inside,
that's it.
Yeah, it's going to be tough.
Over.
I mean, like you said, everything's good. Even, the bad CGI, it's still kind of cool because it's like literally things coming off from the comic books into live action. So it's like there's going to be some trouble making it accurate or trying to make it look polished and clean. But I feel like some of those things can be weighed, like you can probably wait on it, or, just some of these shows can be movies, or some of these, characters can be thrown into a movie, like an Avengers movie or, low-level Avengers movie, such like that. Like my example, She-Hulk, that it looks very interesting. I like that there's a lot of low-level stuff. We'll probably talk about that a little more too, but
it's crazy when you really think about it, because like you look at Multiverse of Madness and a lot of people got on their visual effects.
Yeah.
But literally you couldn't make that movie 10 years ago.
No.
Not even think about it. Like it wouldn't even be considered. And that is a feat in itself. So when you look at it like that, it's like, okay, Phase 4 is going to be regarded as a classic because of all of the things that they brought to it. Like, especially when you watch it in timeline order, including the Disney Plus shows.
And it's not going to be apprecied until everything ties in.
Until it all ties in. Once Phase 6 is over and like this multiverse saga is done, we're going to go back to Phase 4 and be like, okay, they were killing this shit. Yeah.
I guess I'll save the question for later, but we're speaking of expectations, were their expectations met for Thor: Love and Thunder for y'all?
Not at all.
So it's funny because, and then just speaking purely on the podcast, we're all 3 different personality types, 3 different points of views, which is why the podcast worked so well and why we started it in the first place.
Tell them.
But
talk your shit.
I don't know, man. Like, I think the past few movies that we've wanted to watch, had high expectations for, would it be this one or Nope, or just anything we've been wanting to watch together, it's just been below par.
I can't believe you said Nope was below par, but that's for another episode.
Below par when it comes to expectations.
I'm looking forward to the analyzing of the COVID era of making movies.
Yes, and
we have not exited yet that. All the films that we're getting were made during the pandemic.
Yeah. And they should have been out last year. Literally, all these movies should have been out last year.
Not only that they should have been out, but the fact that they were created during the pandemic is showing. Mm-hmm. And it's like, wow, the decisions that they're making with the crowds that they have and how many extras and how many things is, you're only making those based off of the health of COVID. Yeah. We didn't have to worry about that before. So a person who's writing a scene could be like, and then 200 people are going to fly out of this building. And they're like, we can't get 200 people in a building. So how do we do that? All right, well, if I want to keep the scene, I got to CGI 200 people coming out of the building. Yeah. That adds another layer. Or I don't put the scene in there, and now we don't get the most iconic part of what I wanted to do, and I got to switch it up. Or I got to just try and do it with 30 people. All of those decisions are being made in various areas of movies that are coming out. So it's just so interesting watching them, and it's even with Shang-Chi, to go back to Shang-Chi real quick, that ending fight scene, or that ending village, when you really look at the village, it's like, yo, there's like 15 people here.
Yeah.
Like this isn't how it would really go.
Yeah.
If we were able to do the movie before, it looked like a Lord of the Rings, like homeboys, you know,
I mean,
it'd be a whole army.
just use the end game, like Wakandan army, for example. Like,
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That was done well, though.
There's no way that little village only had 15 people.
No.
Yeah.
But you know, just to the point of all of this COVID creation is what I'm gonna call it. And with Thor, it suffers from that.
Yes,
it really suffers from that.
I feel like, I feel like out of all the movies in the phase, it felt forced, especially because, like you said, like Thor's arc has been finished since Phase 4, obviously. So, and you know the way it was advertised is, you know, Guardians were gonna be in the movie, which they were, I guess, but. It seemed when they were leaving, it seemed forced. Like, all right, no, we gotta go.
What that tells me is that James Gunn's team understands Guardians more than anyone else, and they didn't have them involved in writing for them. Because even when I heard Rocket, I was just like, it doesn't have that Guardians feel.
It wasn't as impactful, or like it didn't feel
Drax or
like
Groot
the Guardians we know.
Never said a word. Which was or Mantis, you know.
Yeah.
It was Rocket or Star-Lord.
I think Mantis like said something, but
because it was Mantis and Quill going.
It's
up
forgettable.
To get Thor.
Yeah,
it was forgettable.
Yeah, it was.
You know, if you're gonna market those characters in the movie
together, or like to make it,
especially like that was the first trailer. Like they were the first ones to pop up.
I mean, if you were like closely watching like the breakdowns and like the trailers itself, then you would know that like Guardians were only being
and that's the thing. Like I knew they weren't gonna be in it long, but even from what we got, it's just super forgettable.
Yeah, it just wasn't.
Especially the way it was marketed after Endgame. Like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go with the Guardians of the Galaxy, and we're just gonna bust all these missions. And we only saw one mission, which was kind of just it felt super low level.
Yeah. I'm curious as to if that is a result of James Gunn being fired. Because remember, James Gunn got fired, and then he went to go do the Suicide Squad, which they're not going to stop their train for what's going on. So he could have made that Guardians 3 that had Thor, where that scene that we got was literally the aftermath of whatever happened in Guardians 3 if that went well.
I mean,
but we didn't get that.
Guardians
but they didn't change it either. You know what I'm saying? So now it feels off.
Guardians 3 initially, before James Gunn got fired, was supposed to come out before after Spider-Man. Yeah. So
it was going to be after Spider-Man, but before Thor.
Yeah, because it was going to be the start of Phase 4. I remember. But he got fired, and then even the cast was like, "Yeah, we're not going to do it without James Gunn." So obviously, they had to push it.
So now we won't get that story of them traveling together. What they may do is like a Kraglin show or something like that. That shows some of that. You know what I mean? Yeah, you know what I mean. They'll do something like that, some sort of show. But we may not get that. The James Gunn film may take place after what that interaction from Thor, and it's just those kinds of decisions that get made. Where I mean, you're stuck in a rock and a hard place. You know what I mean? It's just like, yo,
even
what are you
something
gonna do?
that
You're
can
gonna switch up the whole thing, or are you gonna just like?
It just goes to show that like even something as small as the beauty in James Gunn is that he's a writer too. So when you get him like writing for Endgame and writing all their dialogue and how they would go about it, it's done perfect. But when you can't even hire Gunn to do literally not even 15 minutes of dialogue.
I just feel
it's a missed
like
opportunity.
It just proves that Marvel has been trying to push Thor into more of the Guardians genre. You know, but without
make it its own.
You can't really do that. Even with Taika, you can't do that.
I mean,
I feel you.
Because James Gunn alone has his own way of doing the music.
But also that's not shitting on what Taika Waititi does, because he does it well.
Because Ragnarok had that feel. Like what that was telling me was that Taika and James Gunn were creating the cosmic universe of the Marvel universe.
Right.
The Russos had the main, you know what I mean?
The mainland.
And then we were going to figure out who was going to make the street and what that was going to look like.
But and now like we also have, we have Taika, we have James Gunn, and now we have Chloe Zhao, which is like totally different.
So and her making cosmic stuff, it's like, whoa, like this is like Star Trek.
It's I guess more of what I like, because I mean I like Thor, but just not too. It's just a little too goofy, too campy for me.
Chloe Zhao creating the cosmic universe, I think, is better than James Gunn creating the cosmic universe. Yeah. And I only say that because of, like, I'm with you. Like, the way I like my cosmic space stuff, I don't like too much campy space stuff. I want serious space stuff, like,
especially you're in space.
You're in space,
which is funny because Guardians,
you know what I mean?
Guardians
like,
is
shit
such
is real up there.
It's such a funny movie,
yeah.
But it's so like it can easily flip the switch on serious to funny. As to where Thor, there's always comedic undertones, like constant comedic undertones.
I hope that if. Guardians is the same, bro. He did a dance battle to like beat Ronan. Like, it's the same.
Yeah,
it's
just
the
like
same.
Footloose.
I hope that if they do an adult Nova or like a Silver Surfer movie,
we're getting the Nova show.
They figure out what the medium is. You know, I'm really curious about Secret Invasion and the Marvels when they get there because. Those are going to be the ones that kind of like are the glue.
So, I mean, if you've seen Captain Marvel, I feel like that's what Secret Invasion is going to be more like, which I'm okay with.
That's kind of a blend. You know, there was some funny that was in
that's a really
but it
good
was pretty
one.
serious, you know.
I just seen it after I saw Miss Marvel. I was like, let me just put Captain Marvel on. And I was like, wow, this one is kind of slept on, especially because it's kind of like a Nick Fury movie.
Well, it got shitted on because it, like, a lot of people for some reason took they just made Brie Larson like this villain of like being Captain Marvel, which I don't understand.
Yeah.
I must have missed that. I'm not saying that she's the greatest actress in the world, but like I'm not gonna hate on her or anything like that. Like
I can't think of anybody else as Captain Marvel. I mean,
Charlize Theron would play a better Captain Marvel.
Yeah, well, she's somebody else now.
But it would be a different type of movie, you know. When that's the thing, you have to consider whenever they're casting, it's like, what type of movie are we gonna get? And that's what I mean about them telling us what we're getting, you know. What kind of movie are we getting? And with Thor, they really didn't do that. Now, the best thing of Thor is the villain, Christian Bale. Christian Bale was not playing,
which again
You're right. He was not playing because his screen time was very minimal.
They left a lot on the chopping block. I think Thor: Love and Thunder could have been a different movie. I think that they shot enough for it to be a different movie. It could have been an Endgame level type of movie, but I think the decision was made to make it a family movie.
Yeah.
Make it a comedy. And then you have to watch it from that lens. If you don't watch it from that lens, you're going to say the movie is trash.
Yeah, and like I said, like I only saw half the movie. I fell asleep, and my friend said I did miss the best part, which I believe I probably did.
What did he say that you missed?
I pretty much fell asleep after they got the thunderbolt from Zeus, and they left. Like that's when I fell asleep. So I missed
the most accurate portrayal of Zeus ever.
It was low-key perfect.
As far as the books are concerned. I just hated it.
No, Greek mythology is kind of hilarious, bro. Like, people have this preconceived idea of what Greek gods are.
No, I mean, you saw in the beginning of the movie what that god did to Gore. He's like, I did everything for you. Like, can you
like,
save
shut up,
us?
I'm eating
like,
grapes.
I don't need you.
I kind of like that, though, because, you know, anime portrays gods like that a lot of times, where it's like you think that they really care about you, but all these gods, supposed gods, demigods, everything like that, like, they all have different personalities. They're just like stronger beings, right? And that, like, in the books, there's actual personality descriptions of them. We just played God of War, so we feel like Zeus is an absolute badass, you know? Or we watch Hercules and we think that he's a loving father. Like, he's none of those things. He's silly, he's promiscuous, he's strong, but like, you know, he's just out here. And
out here clapping.
Yeah, it's because America wants a leader, so we're gonna take whatever mythology, change it to our own thing.
Yeah,
but that really messed me up, man. For them to explore all of that god realm and not show any gods,
gods getting got,
not even just getting got, but just having an opinion. Like, Bast was right there.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like, you're not going to show Khonshu? We literally just saw Moon Knight, and you're not going to show Khonshu.
Yeah.
Not even a peek. You don't even got to say
Or
nothing.
any of them, really.
Just have him
you know.
chilling. And it's like, that's what kind of makes me mad. Yeah, exactly. You know?
The hippo god.
It's like,
Yeah.
if you're going to introduce things, do it, you know? Don't not.
Yeah, especially after you've already introed them, and then it's like...
That's what made me mad.
Yeah.
So it's like, you got to... I feel like those things are cut on the chopping block. Like, there's no way you have those characters and you don't shoot a scene.
Yeah.
You know, like, or you may want to shoot a scene, and Feige's like, nah, we got other plans for that, so it's a no. But they're not going to explain it to us. They're not going to tell us.
So just to sum it up, Thor: Love and Thunder was so straight up family film. Made digestible for everybody. It did have good moments when it came to how it was shot and how the characters finally got to have good relationships that didn't feel forced. Like, I feel like we finally got the Jane Foster and Thor relationship that we've been wanting for the first 3 Thor films.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get Tessa Thompson. I think, honestly, bro, Tessa Thompson killed this role. Like, she's such a good Valkyrie. And she just plays it well, especially when it comes to New Asgard becoming a tourist attraction. And all that being said, what's your rating?
I mean, the rating, I give it a 5.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Probably 5.
It's a 5, but
there's no replay value in the movie. It doesn't call for you to go back to the movies to watch it again.
Well,
I'll probably watch it again the next time I do a timeline order, you know, as it comes out. Like,
or if it's Disney
I'll watch
Plus,
it again.
is probably the next time I'm going to watch it.
But yeah, I mean, there isn't a reason to watch it again. I mean, Christian Bale does a great job. I'm glad that he was in the Marvel universe. It's just a lack of
screen time, man. It's such another way. There's so many wasted opportunities in this movie, from the Guardians to not as much screen time for Bale, and having Gore is such a badass, bro, and you made him just look like he was teasing children.
Exactly, because I mean, that's a villain everybody's been calling for so long.
Yeah, bro,
one of my gripes with Marvel is them killing their villains.
I was gonna say that again. Another villain killed.
That's one of the worst things. I feel like you can wrap up a movie without the villain being killed or sacrificing themselves. Like, just lock
DC
them up
does
somewhere. Just lock them up somewhere so that they can come back whenever they need to. We read comic books all the time. The villains just get locked up and they come back. It's really unfortunate that Marvel does that, because there's so many, and I think that it's gonna bite them, you know. In that, well, it's not gonna bite them in the ass, because what they're gonna do is they're gonna unite the multiverse again, and now everybody's on the table, so they could just bring somebody back and be like, oh well, this version of him came, so this is what it is.
This version of him Kang.
That too.
Well, what do you guys think is next for Thor?
Well, what I was gonna say is that I think what's next for everybody now that they've made this Thor film. And I say that because the type of movies that they're going to make now, it's just going to be adventure focused. Like, this is just a movie featuring one of, you know, the superheroes that you know, going through some shit, and then it's going to be concluded. It's not going to connect to nothing. It may reference a couple things, but it's just going to be that. So if they make Thor 5, Thor 6, Thor 7, Thor 8, Thor 9, like, eventually they may connect it to a bigger narrative, but each movie will most likely sit on its own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One person I wanted to see was Loki.
Yeah, it's not going to happen for a while.
Well, it could happen now that we have Valhalla.
Well, Valhalla...
Because he died during battle.
See, it's weird with Loki because he did die during battle, and theoretically, if the Avengers didn't go back in time, he should be in Valhalla or Hela or wherever.
He should still be there.
He should be there.
Jane went to Valhalla,
but because it doesn't end there, and because it was still the linear timeline, the multiverse wasn't broken. That loop that they went through is where he goes.
Yeah. So technically, that Loki that we saw die should go to Valhalla, but now he's back in the TVA because it's that same timeline. Technically,
yeah, like that Loki's future is his past. So
Back to
if
the
we're
Future.
going forward, he just did a loop and then flew off the ride. And there's not going to be
As far as he knows, he was in Valhalla and then got blipped from Valhalla and ended up in the TVA.
Maybe
if you can follow the consciousness of Loki after he got strangled and died from there, and you shoot the next scene of him appearing in Valhalla, then yes. But that would automatically disappear. Like he would literally get erased once 2012 Loki goes to
the
to the TVA.
Yeah.
I could see that.
That's why they were able to show him the footage.
Yeah.
Because it hadn't been split yet, but they were like, oh, well, this is what happens.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
That's true. I don't know. I guess the whole Valhalla thing, because Valhalla came after Loki anyway, so you can't really put that in Loki and show him.
Yeah.
So we'll see what they do with it.
One of my questions, though, is that with the multiverse, it's the only person that could travel to the multiverse is America Chavez that we saw in Multiverse and Madness.
Yeah.
That's a true multiverse. These other timelines are timelines within our universe.
It's still technically one universe. There's just different branches.
It's not the multiverse. Yeah. And I think that's what a lot of people get confused about because they're like, oh, we saw all these timelines open up. Why aren't we seeing that? And it's like, well, we might be seeing that in these movies, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's the multiverse.
Because it's cool. Because technically, for those that are listening and you've seen Loki, technically the break in the multiverse is when they're redlining. That's technically the break in the multiverse. The branches don't count.
Yeah, but we saw at the end when Sylvie killed He Who Remains that all of those branches passed the red line, right? So now we're getting all of these movies that can very well take place in these different timelines.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that we're looking at multiverse versions of what we're looking at. The only time we've seen that is in the Multiverse of Madness where they turned into liquid. You know what I mean? There's other stuff.
Or blocks.
Blocks or some noir type. That's a multiverse, you know? And I think that a lot of people are getting confused because they're like, why aren't they showing... We're in the multiverse saga. Why aren't they showing this? And it's that's going to be reserved for the big movies, you know, where we'll get those versions. It's never going to be enough, you know, because we're looking at other timelines of these movies that we're looking at right now. And we don't know how those connect.
Yeah. And we still don't even know when Sylvie, if at the point of when we're watching Thor, if we're watching Eternals,
that's true.
If Sylvie has
done it yet.
He Who Remains.
Yeah.
Because from what we know, that's a whole different... That's probably in the future still, and it still hasn't happened yet.
You know what I'm thinking, man? That would be so amazing if they opened up, the Kang movie with, the end of Loki. Just because, to your point, it's we don't know when that is happening. I mean, we're assuming that happens alongside No Way Home.
Yeah.
Because of the cracks.
Yeah.
So I guess that kind of defeats what we're saying right now. But that would have been awesome if it actually took place later on and we were seeing the build up to that.
Yeah.
That would have been really cool. But I think because we've seen No Way Home, it kind of tells us when it happens. But that's pretty messed up too. Their timeline is messed up. Yeah,
well, we still don't even know if Thor's happening before No Way Home,
Doctor Strange or anything. I mean,
we know Doctor Strange is after Spider-Man, but we don't know when Thor takes place.
Yeah.
Or when Shang-Chi takes place. Yep. Miss Marvel.
Eternals. That's the biggest one. You have a giant Eternal out of the ocean that is affecting currents. It's literally affecting geometric phenomenon.
Not only that, but
shit's happening.
Everybody in the world sees a celestial pool.
Yeah.
3 Eternals.
And one of the things that was interesting, or that I read, is that with the Eternals, and you have Tiamat, I think that's his name, the Eternal, Tiamat, out of the Indian Ocean, when Miss Marvel was going to Pakistan. That's an easy way to reference that. They could have easily just showed a little shot of her looking out the window. And you just see a big ass finger. It would have been crazy. That would have been just enough for people to be like, yo, okay, this is crazy. But they didn't do that. And it's those things that I feel like are lacking.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It shows in. But what was your rating for Thor? You didn't give your rating.
6.5. I'm a kid.
Cool. I'll watch it again when
funny.
it hits Disney Plus.
It was funny. I was in a really good mood when I watched it.
Hey,
I was around all family.
How cool would it be to just get imbued with the power of Thor, though? Like, as a kid. All those kids got, like, the fire.
Yo, yeah, that was probably one of my... Yo, she used the teddy bear. Was it teddy bear?
Bro.
Yeah, it was fire.
Could you imagine, like your teddy bear's your best friend, right? You're sitting around with it the whole time. Like, this is your teddy bear. You've come up with imaginary stories, all kinds of stuff. And then you actually get imbued with magic and get to use it and whoop ass.
Yeah,
Yo,
that's fire.
That's
Before we proceed, is Gore's daughter, which is also Chris Hemsworth's actual daughter, alive?
All the families of the main people were involved. Like, I think Natalie Portman's daughter was involved. Like, Thor's family was involved. Taika's family was involved. Everybody.
Sheesh.
Free labor.
Is Marvel setting her up to be in the Young Avengers?
Yeah. Or else...
That's a brand new character.
If they don't... If they... You know, what's the point of introducing her?
Yeah.
I don't think that they are. I think that it's a brand new character. It is
a brand new character.
If they make a comic,
because Gore's daughter actually dies and stays dead, and Thor has daughters, but it's not in it's a multiverse, type stuff where he has daughters.
I mean, getting Dad Thor, like, are we gonna see both of them again? Yes, absolutely. Like, they're gonna for sure pop up and do some cool stuff.
Chris Hemsworth also said him and Taika were surprised when they saw Thor will return at the end of the movie.
Well, yeah, because you're not going to say it's over for Thor. He's still alive. Like, he's going to be able to pop up in everything, and that's why Chris Hemsworth said, yo, I'll play him forever. And it'll get to the point kind of like with Hugh Jackman where it's like, yo, my body can't literally, like, get that big anymore. I'm growing. But by that time, visual effects is going to kick in.
Not only that, but he's going to be able to take a step back too. Like, he's gonna become Elder Thor, where he's gonna be able to take a step back. Mm-hmm. So I look forward to that. But yeah, I'm just curious to see if they're gonna toss a new character.
I don't think that they're gonna do a Young Avengers movie. I think they'll do a show.
No, it'll be a show, or whether a show or a movie.
It'll be a movie. I think
be
one of the next coming up. They're not going to call it Young Avengers. They're just going to call it
we do have Phase 6 that has all these empty slots, but we'll touch
I think
base
they'll
on
call
that.
it Young
It's kind of like,
the
New Avengers. They didn't call the New Avengers movie New Avengers.
Well, there isn't a New Avengers movie.
No, but that's what I'm saying. With Captain America and...
You're talking about Phase 6 Avengers.
You're talking about with Kang Dynasty and Secret War?
No, I'm talking about I guess after... When was it?
You mean the end of Age of Ultron? And that they...
Yeah. The New Avengers.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, because even at the end of the movie, they're like, we're the New Avengers. But the next movie's not called New Avengers.
He didn't say that we're the New Avengers. It was just new recruits.
I swear he said New Avengers.
Nah, he said Avengers, and then they cut it off because they're whack. And that would have been the time for him to say it instead of him whispering it on the battlefield.
If you enjoyed Thor: Love and Thunder, let us know. If you hated it, let us know.
Yeah, let us know.
We welcome all opinions. Yeah, I was looking for the word. All right, let's talk about the fun stuff, guys. San Diego Comic-Con was crack. Hall H had all the juicy, tender, blood gushing.
As usual.
I hate that everybody leaked everything the day before.
Did they?
I'm mad. Yeah, I wasn't surprised.
That's how it usually is with conventions.
I wasn't surprised with anything that was announced. Like, it was great to have the confirmation, but I remember when we got like the phases when we didn't know what was coming out, and it was like, yo, we're getting Ant-Man. Like, you know what I mean?
No, my point of view for this San Diego Comic-Con was like different than like the last one.
It's been a while.
I was watching everything as it was being announced.
2019 when they did the last one.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's been a while.
So I was watching it while it was being announced. So I was getting all the updates in real time, and I was loving it.
But didn't you know what they were already going to?
No, I mean, I sent you guys like the list of leaks, but most of them were not real.
I think all of them were real.
I don't think so. I could be wrong, but even then, when I sent it to you guys,
trademarking the names and stuff.
Not only the trademark of the names.
Oh, well, not so much that. I remember I sent you guys like a list of what like the panels were planned to be.
I sent a list to y'all about the plots of a lot of stuff that was.
I remember that.
Out.
Yeah,
I remember that.
And all of that turned out to be what they kind of announced. So I was like, I mean, it's great to be informed, but like, I think part of Marvel's magic is really the the surprise, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like, hey, here you go. Now, we'll say that backfired one time with Captain America because they did Captain America Serpent Society and everyone went crazy. And then they changed it to Civil War. And everyone was like, wait, what? You know, so that kind of ruined a little bit of Civil War. If they would have announced Civil War from the jump, everyone would have went crazy, you know, for sure. So I get it because they're like, hey, we'll tell you about this, but we don't want to really confirm it. But once it's confirmed, I don't really want to know until they announce it.
Yeah.
You know? Because people are checking those trademarks now. And they already said that they've trademarked. That was like my...
the Boston accent?
My Mark Wahlberg.
Trademark.
My...
Skywalker Mac.
They trademarked Eternity Saga.
Oh, gosh.
Already.
Eternity?
The Eternity Saga. And I was like... No, like, don't tell me what's coming after this.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to know that. Like, that's like, tell me that when it's done, and tell me that it's the Eternity Saga.
Yeah.
But like, people are gonna be on it now.
Supposedly, too, Thor's daughter is the new Eternity, or of sorts. That's what I've seen.
The Eternity of
So
sorts.
I don't know if she's gonna be involved in that.
Well, I think what we're gonna get with
the
Eternity Saga, we're gonna get all the other people. We're getting the Living Tribunal officially. We're getting Galactus officially. We're getting, you know, the Beyonder, the One Above All, the Watcher. Like, we're getting all of that. And yes, it's great, and it's not too far off because the way that they're doing these phases, it's going to be here by like 2028.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
2028.
Which is crazy.
It's not that far away.
It's 6 years. 6 years from now. It's not a lot.
Yeah, so
I'm going to be in my early 30s.
Before we move on to talk about phases 5 and 6, let's talk about the movie that's going to end phase 4, Black Panther 2, Wakanda Forever.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm not sure how we're going to, because there's a lot to talk about, so thank you, Skywalker Mike.
Yeah, no, that one we can start it off
I'm looking at the doc, and I'm like overwhelmed.
Don't
like,
look at the doc. Just flow. You got it.
I love planning things.
No, don't worry about it.
So yeah, Black Panther 2, the trailer.
Did you guys cry?
Finally,
Did you guys cry watching the trailer?
I didn't cry.
I cried.
I didn't cry. I did see
Did
a
you
lot of
actually
people
cry?
crying.
I actually cried. I shed tears.
Tears?
Yeah, bro.
Down your face?
Yep, bro.
It's
I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is regarding Disney and scores that get me, but there's certain Disney songs that get me choked up. So when Thames was singing a Bob Marley song, you best believe.
Be all right.
That's not a Disney song.
Well, I said Disney and scores.
It is now.
I know, for real.
Disney and scores. I know the Marley's getting the bag now.
Well, finish what you're saying, Skywalker, and then I want to jump in.
Yeah, so we got the trailer. We also got Ryan Coogler come out and talk about Chadwick a little bit. And obviously, everybody's big question was, how is this movie going to move on without Chadwick Boseman?
Right.
And pretty much we kind of get some glimpses and how that's going to happen, and, you know, who the villain is going to be, which I predict there will be a bigger villain
It's
than Namor.
I agree. But I'll save it. Keep going.
So yeah, I mean, we can jump into the trailer. I think the music for it alone is really cool. I wonder if we'll get another original soundtrack, or if we're just gonna get a remix songs.
I think having
sorts.
the Kendrick added was like a good like little affirmation. Like,
you have
it's
to
coming.
have Kendrick.
It's coming.
Well, Thames
at
already
this point.
came out, or I don't know if Thames herself came out, but it's already been said that Thames is on the soundtrack for the Black Panther.
So I have
But is
pretty
it
high
gonna
confidence.
be like, what kind of soundtrack are we getting? Are we getting the Ludwig Göransson soundtrack, or are we getting
TD?
TD soundtrack?
I don't think we're getting TDE because Kendrick's.
But
obviously
we're getting a
not
PG
that
Lang one.
Yeah, but think about it though. Like with
PG Lang one. Wow.
hey, that's not bad.
That actually could
That's
work.
not bad.
'Cause, you know,
PG Lang
they've-
one would work
that
way
can
more
work.
for this one than it would be a TDE one.
especially
that can work.
because you're not
I like that.
putting you have to get these only TDE artists in there.
Right.
PG Lang is
Baby Keem
all
in the
over
MCU.
place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That can
I mean, he's
happen.
already in the MCU, isn't he? With oh no, I'm thinking of something else. Yeah. I'm thinking of Vince Staples and Black Panther one.
Yeah, it's so interesting. This trailer for Black Panther 2 showed me that when Disney wants to, it can deliver.
Yeah.
And
when it wants to.
Yeah, like it just kind of made me mad because I look back at, I mean, it was great. Like I believed again when I saw this trailer. You know, I was like, oh, okay, they got it.
Yeah.
You know, and
they did it.
I've been not disappointed, but I've been worried and weary of what Marvel has been doing. Even just think about the trailers. Like, Multiverse of Madness was pretty cool, but then it got like weird, you know, because they already showed the Illuminati. They show like it got to some stuff where it was like, okay, this is great, but like you guys don't trust this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like this trailer, when I watched it, I was like, oh, they trust what's happening here because it was delivered so beautifully and narratively that like it did its job. I don't know what's going on in this movie. I could, there's some context clues. I can kind of put some stuff together, but I have no idea what's going on in this movie. Yeah. And I didn't need to know to want to watch it. They showed me, we are putting our foot in this thing. And like the music was fantastic. Tim's doing it was emotional. Okay. Angela Bassett doing her little speech with the UN, and it's because it was authentic and it was true. You know, like it was. I felt that it was true. And then the like, oh man, the lead up into the title card was crazy, as far as we gonna be all right, and then like and then them like editing it and like it all right, and then Wakanda forever, and then bam, like let's
Ludwig
go.
Comes in,
it was let's go. That's what it gave me. It gave me like, yo, guys, we got this. It's gonna be fire. I need that from every trailer. From now on, you can't do that.
It's because not give it.
This has been the best trailer
doesn't
we've
have
gotten.
Ludwig Göransson, and he is the GOAT.
Is Ludwig confirmed back?
Yeah, I saw a picture.
Okay.
With I think it was Ryan Coogler and him and somebody.
No,
else.
I mean, bro. We got affirmation. Bro, we got affirmation when we saw Black Panther at the Hollywood Bowl. He talked about it there.
Oh yeah.
Ludwig talked about it there.
That's right. He did say that he was going to be back.
So we got the confirmation months
ago. Of
ago.
course, he's going to come back.
Okay, so amazing. To break down the trailer very briefly and to kind of go through everything, like Skywalker said, I believe there's a big bad that's not being talked about. Kind of the way we got Civil War when you're thinking it's Cap versus Iron Man the whole time, but it's really Zemo pulling the strings.
Yeah.
Gonna be a hot take. We don't have to spend too much time on it, but I think it's Doctor Doom.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, I feel like at this point everybody knows Wakanda is this advanced society because they have vibranium, and now everybody kind of wants their own vibranium.
Right.
You know, Dr. Doom or whoever, even if it's not Dr. Doom, some scientist probably found a deposit of vibranium or something of that sort and kind of, interfered with I forget what they're not going to call it Atlantis anymore.
Talocan.
Yeah, Talocan, which means paradise.
It's going to be more of an Aztec.
Yeah, it's more Aztec on the Mexican side. So I feel like, whatever it is, it's somebody who is trying to get that deposit from that city and then just awakens them. And
so what I think's going to happen, and just watching from the trailer, we're going to get T'Challa passing away. We don't know how, and I'm sure they'll touch base on it in the movie, but everybody wearing white in the trailer is them doing the celebration of life for Chadwick Boseman and for T'Challa. Watching New Rockstars when they did their breakdown where they're dancing in front of, where you see the big group shot. Yeah. There's a forest, and that's where all the royalty in Wakanda gets laid to rest. And that's where, like, the first person who came in contact with Boss is buried at, so on and so forth.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the first time we've seen T'Challa in a coffin, and, it's floating. We saw it in What If, which was very eerie to see.
So while that's all happening, Namor gets waking up, however you want to word it. But also in the trailer, you see that boat you see is a Wakandan boat, obviously, because there's Wakandan scientists on that boat.
I don't know. I didn't see no indication that it was Wakandan.
Yeah, the scientists. If you go back and watch the trailer, you see.
Yeah, because they opened up Wakanda to start giving back to the world.
Right.
So that's like the main thing. Because they've opened up their borders, people are starting to get involved. And I think that they're going to touch on maybe an immigration issue of like, we opened up our borders and our king got killed. Like, he's been smooth without that being the case, you know?
And that plays off of Angela Bassett's speech.
Yeah,
where,
of her being involved in the UN and what's going on. So they may be going for a vibranium deposit. I don't know if it's strictly that, but I think whatever's going on, I think Wakanda's going to get blamed for causing Talokan to be unsafe in some sort of way.
Right, because something's going to happen where whatever's happening on the boat, whatever they're experimenting on, where Namor gets waking up. And then Namor, even in the comics, he's seen as a an antagonist.
I feel like,
or an anti-hero.
They're already awake, they're just living their life.
I wouldn't say like woken up, but like they're just around. Like they're just doing their thing.
And, nobody's bothering us, so we're not going to bother anybody. But once you get into their space,
and then
it could be happen. They probably see the Wakandan emblem or something. They're like, oh, we know who to talk to.
So it's going to turn into Namor. Either something's going to be taken from where he's from, and it's going to be blamed on Wakanda, and Namor is going to be seen as the anti-hero. He's not going to get killed off. I don't think it's going to go that far.
No, they're not. He's not going to die. He's gonna be around for a while. You're not going to kill the first Latino like hero that's in the MCU and kill him. I have an interesting theory connection that's going to happen.
Okay.
In I think it was Civil War, Tony Stark talked to MIT and showed them the memory thing, right? And Barf. And Far From Home took from that because we found out that Mysterio was there at that same thing, right?
Right.
Tony said that he greenlit all the projects that were going on at MIT.
One of them being
Riri is a student at MIT.
Right.
Okay.
She's creating the Ironheart armor.
Right.
I wouldn't be surprised if there's a connection in Tony greenlighting the funding for all of these projects that inspires Riri to do what she's doing.
Right.
And that even, I would say...
I totally forgot about that. He's like, everybody,
that's what I'm saying.
all your ideas.
And it's crazy because I think that...
You get funding.
If they do this right, it'll be interesting to show... I would love for them to talk about Tony's relationship with Wakanda because that wasn't very specific. It was like Steve and Black Panther kind of had a little relationship because they were housing Bucky. But from a entering into the world kind of outlook, I think it would be very interesting if Tony was involved in some sort of way, or if Wakanda felt that like, because of Iron Man's sacrifice, we are going to fulfill what was promised, in this way with MIT, and that's how they kind of get involved. And that's where we kind of see that research happening, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like things are getting greenlit, so they're doing all of this different research for better or for worse, and they just so happen to discover an entire civilization.
Right. So, I like that. And obviously it's going to be easy to tie Riri Williams into Wakanda because the borders are open.
Riri's going to be the new Shuri to Shuri.
Yeah, Shuri is going to build her suit better than Riri did.
Yeah, who's smarter, Riri or Shuri?
Shuri. I'd say
we don't
Shuri.
know. We don't know in the MCU. Currently, Shuri is the smartest.
Okay.
And Wong. Those are probably like the two smartest
Wong
people.
Is the bind.
Wong is, with magic.
He's all.
Well, he just, there's other books and you just know stuff and dimensions.
He's the chain that binds. I love Wong.
Yeah.
He's great.
He's really cool. But pretty cool. I mean, I'm pretty hyped for it. It comes out this year.
I don't need to see anything else.
No,
and another thing too is that with the velocity of movie or like that they're coming out with, like it's pretty much every 3-4 months, something like that.
Just about.
I need a trailer like around this time. I'm happy I didn't get a trailer for Black Panther a year ago. Like I need it right
this
now.
Is perfect timing.
Perfect timing. I don't want to see anything else.
It gives every film its room to breathe.
I just don't want. Well, it's not even a room to breathe because, like, it honestly doesn't make sense from movie like standards.
Yeah.
We just saw Oppenheimer and it was like next year, you know, like
Yeah.
You know, it's
when
funny.
we saw
yeah.
the Batman, it was like a year before, you
I
know
think
what
it was
I mean?
longer than that.
It was like
to be
longer than
honest.
that. So, but these trailers look at Avatar. We've been seeing the Avatar trailer for, you know,
Spider-Man.
like since Spider-Man, it's basically going to be a whole year.
Yeah.
Though that's the standard for gigantic movies. So Marvel's really breaking the standard by saying like, yo, we're going to pull a bill from showing you something 3 months out.
It's easy
Yeah.
for them too, though, because there's already momentum off of Thor, off of Miss Marvel. I don't think there's any more.
Well, even the new one, even
Marvel
something
shows
new.
coming out.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like something new that's coming out.
You
It's
mean
still going to get that 3-month
She-Hulk
treatment.
Attorney at Law.
There you go. It's a few weeks.
Sheesh.
How'd you feel about that?
But
Is she a
what?
mutant? Is she a mutant?
No, she gets blood from
from Banner.
Yeah, from Banner. They get in a car accident, and
It's a blood transfusion.
No, I don't think it's a. I don't think it's going to be a transfusion. I don't think they're going to go that route. I think that in the accident, because one of the things that they're going to go back to the Edward Norton.
You mean like when the
lore.
professor has it? Like the professor has an open wound, and then
Yes, that's exactly what they're going to
interesting.
do. So because that is already established in the MCU, Mark Ruffalo, or not Mark Ruffalo, he's an actor, but like the Hulk, Bruce can't like let his blood get anywhere.
Yeah.
Because remember when they drunk the soda and everything? So I think that's what's going to happen. They're going to get in an accident. He's not able to turn into the Hulk at the time of the accident, but his blood is still infected. That's when we're going to see him in like the cast and everything like that because she's going to be driving or something like that. I'm just pulling this together. But she's going to be driving. They're going to get in an accident. He's going to bleed. She's going to bleed. That is going to happen. And then the gene is going to gradually kind of kick in her. And by the time he
that comes
turns
out this
Smart
year?
Hulk, it comes out in a
She-Hulk,
couple weeks.
couple weeks, bro.
Couple weeks, man. And I Am Groot is in a couple weeks.
Iron Groot's gonna be a miniseries, and I can't wait. The little trailer is so cute.
This is way too much.
I don't know
Groot.
how
I
they're going to
didn't
tell
know
the story.
that was going to happen this year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's all. That's the next. Like, if we did a quick dive after Miss Marvel, it's going to be for She-Hulk.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But okay, Black Panther trailer, super fire. Let's I'm just gonna rapid fire in order the next phase, and then we can go from there just to kind of anticipate
Sure,
it.
go ahead, man.
Yeah, whatever's a big name.
You like order.
I do like order.
Go ahead.
New World Order, Captain America.
Hey,
Your boy.
let's go.
All
We're
right, so
getting Sam.
Yeah, that one's a good one.
After Black Panther, first movie we're gonna get top of the year 2023, Ant-Man and Wasp: Quantumania.
Ooh, that one I feel
We
like we do need
did
to
get
talk
Jonathan
about a little
Majors
bit.
at Comic-Con finally. It's his first Comic-Con, and they showed footage which leaked. Do you guys want to kind of talk? Did you watch the leak footage?
I did.
Yeah, we can talk about it. I mean,
Did you enjoy it? Are you
I
excited
mean,
for it?
the angle is terrible.
Yeah, there's not
Oh,
much.
yeah, but
So
that's
it's not.
that's the fun in the leak.
Nah, like
It's like sneaky. You're not supposed to see it.
I mean, I'm a purist, bro. Like I've been to Comic-Con in Hall H when something gets.
We get it,
Drop.
Narik. You're dope and blessed.
It's,
Jeez.
Well, I appreciate that. I definitely do. I'm not saying that to gloat. I'm saying that like there's a reason why you're there. Like don't show me that shit.
Yeah.
Like you got to be there and you got to see it, and that's
Thank you.
great.
Thank you for spending all this money and leaking it to me for free.
for free. Yeah,
And if you're gonna leak it, get a dope angle of it. Like don't just leak. I'm not trying to
Well,
look
it's
at Jonathan
because they
Majors'
can't get
chin.
caught and kicked out.
I'm just saying, like you can't have your cake and eat it too.
you
do
don't
one or
just
the
get
other.
kicked out. You get
It's a
fined.
wrap.
You
It's
get
a wrap,
fined.
bro.
That's
Like-
they got the
Marvel Dark
privacy police are out there. They catch you, you're out, and
It's
you get
over.
fined. Your phone is gone.
I'm gonna be in Hall H, like camera up. No,
Yeah,
y'all
it's
never,
over.
y'all will never hear
I mean,
from me
people
again.
get away with it, but that's why it's a bad angle because you have to. That's the only way you can film
So
it.
for those
getting
that
caught.
are listening or watching, and you didn't get a chance to see this leaked footage, what ends up happening is after Endgame, and what you kind of hear about in Miss Marvel is that Scott Lang becomes a celebrity, basically.
Yeah.
Where he's doing podcast interview, is in TV
Writing a
show
book.
slots,
Writing a
wrote a
book.
book. What was the book called again?
I have no
Watch
idea.
out
saw-
for the little guy or something like
something
that.
about the little guy.
It's pretty interesting that they're using Scott to like inform the world.
But also keep in
Yeah,
mind,
he's not
mind
smart.
yeah, that's why it's
that
funny.
goes so well with Scott's ego, but also he did technically save the world and is the reason why a lot of this
This is true.
Yeah.
That being said, Hank and what's her name? Hope Van Dyne,
who now has short hair.
Again,
did she not have short hair?
She did in the first one.
She had the bob.
Oh,
and
the
then
bob.
She had
I
the
guess.
long hair, but
yeah,
the wasp has like a pixie cut.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they gave her
got
like,
that now?
yeah, they, everything is gonna be comic accurate
Evangeline
now.
Lilly
So
so far.
Sort of.
But yes, so they make fun of Scott for it. They're doing a experiment of sorts. Also, keep in mind we now have Cassie Lang, where Cassie also feels disconnected from her father because 5 years were missed because of the blip, but also at the same time he now
played
turned
by
into,
a different actress.
Played by a different actress. Where now she's also feeling disconnected from her father because he's like a celebrity and being very full of himself. Where an experiment goes wrong, they get sucked into the quantum realm, and multiversal events start happening. We get Bill Murray's character where he's kind of the leader of a civilization and recognizes Janet.
Yeah,
Janet Van Dyne. And then we end up getting Kang, where it's just very brief. We see Kang in his comic accurate suit finally, and Scott Lang says, I have to warn you, I'm an Avenger. And Kang responds with, you're an Avenger. Have I killed you before?
Yeah.
I've also seen a response say that I'm a conqueror, like when he says I'm an Avenger. And I didn't know which one was what he actually said because everyone started cheering when they saw it, so I couldn't really make it out.
Yeah. No, he says something about conquering to the crowd. Like he's talking to the crowd and then they ask him a question and he's just like, there's going to be conquering, and then everybody cheers. So I think that's what people are referring to. Because in the trailer, he just says, say that. Have I killed you before? And that's all.
That's all. That's the end of the trailer. It cuts. So that's Ant-Man and the Wasp. We're supposed to get it.
So it's
February.
supposed to be a lot more serious movie.
I think it's gonna be
like
than other Ant-Man.
I think both of the Ant-Man movies had very good comedic.
Yeah.
And
I mean, you would think the Paul Rudd ones would be super hilarious.
His range, bro.
Yeah, but comedy. Like that's it makes sense.
Part 2 had comedy, but it was like the relief didn't come from Paul Rudd. It came from
everything else.
Michael Pena,
my guy.
Yeah. My parents died, but I got the van.
Yo, without him getting the van, everything would have fallen apart.
Imagine if he didn't get the van.
Oh, that's so
if he didn't get the van, bro.
His grandparents saved the MCU.
Yeah. He's the MVP.
Basically, Latinos save the MCU. Let's go. Yeah. Your boy. After Ant-Man and the Wasp, we're getting Secret Invasion. No set date. It just says spring 2023.
Secret Invasion?
Secret Invasion.
Invasion.
I heard that Secret Invasion was going to have a tone similar to Winter Soldier.
I like that.
I like that. I like it as a headline. Prove it to me.
Prove it to me.
You gotta prove it to me.
You
can't
looks
just
like
say that.
Technically, after that, and they're very close together, where we might even get them happening at the same time. Echo is summer 2023, as to where Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is going to be May 2nd. It looks like of 2023.
Okay, so Echo will come out in like July.
Yeah.
Or June.
Next up in July is going to be the Marvels.
Now, before we get there, with Echo, they talked about that was going to be the official start of the street.
The street level?
The street level of the MCU.
So you think we'll get
How do we
Luke Cage?
feel about that?
Luke Cage
I'm excited for it.
I think
Jessica Jones.
I think
this is where it opens up, right? It's like, well, who's going to be? Is Kingpin gonna be the biggest bad of the street level, or are there other street level villains that they're gonna start bringing in? And I'm just curious about that. Like Norman Osborn. Now you feel me? You know what I'm saying? Like that's where I'm getting to. It's like,
when are we getting Osborn?
We need that. Yeah. We need that. And I don't see any of these shows that are coming out where we're gonna get Osborn unless it's in the Daredevil show, which we'll talk about when you get there.
Yeah. So after that, around the same time, just like these past ones.
How do you feel about Guardians? You saw Nick Poulter, Adam Warlock.
Oh
yeah,
yes,
that's cool.
I don't fully remember the Guardians leak footage.
That's a fan casting, right?
Not really, but I think there was art before he was casted.
Yeah.
But then it was just confirmed
By Boss Logic.
Yeah, and a lot of people were like, really? But then like he started getting yoked out.
He got
and it's
super yoked up,
He
bro.
hit the Bro, there's
Marvel
nothing,
Regiment.
There's nothing like getting the Marvel Regiment.
Look at Chris Hemsworth.
Well, from what I heard, the Marvel
Biggest
Regiment
he's ever
isn't.
been.
No, from what I heard, the Marvel Regiment's actually non-existent. Like Marvel doesn't supply that to you. You got to find it yourself. That was confirmed by Paul Rudd.
I don't think so.
Oh, Paul Rudd. I mean, Paul Rudd don't even got to get yoked though.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, Paul.
They're gonna give it to the people who
They probably just told
need
Paul
it.
no.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
They're like,
played.
no, you don't get it.
They're like, no, Ant-Man.
Yeah.
But Thor, sure.
Exactly.
Okay, that's
Thor
fair.
needs
The
it.
people that need
that's
it,
fair.
like what's his name, Kingo. You know,
Kingo,
like,
yeah.
he got it. He fully talked about the benefit of the Marvel Regiment, and that's awesome. He changed your whole life.
Yeah, that's funny.
No, that's,
Ant-Man wanted to get yoked. Yeah, we don't need you that big, bro.
Yeah, nope. Sorry.
Next up, so it looks like first we're gonna get Loki season 2, which I'm looking forward to.
Nice.
I was excited about that because I didn't know where it was going to land, and I don't think that they realized that they needed Loki 2 season 2 fast.
Sooner than later.
Sooner than later, exactly.
Yeah.
They needed it a lot.
And I'm
sooner than
I'm
later.
glad that we're getting Loki season 2 after we get another variant of Kang,
Yeah.
because
Yeah,
we
I'm
might
with
be
you on
able to
that.
see more variants of Kang, which
I wonder
we're probably
if
gonna get different. a
Loki
different
will
variant.
be in.
I wonder if they'll kill Kang in Quantumania. No, well, they said MODOK was going to be in it
Oh
mostly.
yes,
So
MODOK also
is
looks
gonna
more of a
be-
robot than he does.
MODOK is going to be the main villain, and he'll be the one that dies, unfortunately, because they kill their villains, and Kang will survive.
Interesting.
Until we bring back a variant of MODOK.
So you think he'll be working aside?
Slightly
Kang?
confirmed.
No, I think he'll be working directly with Kang.
Oh,
But I
MODOK.
think MODOK is going to be someone who's tapped in, who's going to end up dying because he knows
I mean,
too much
it's going to be
information.
equivalent to like Guardians 1, where Thanos is the big bad, but you get
Ronan.
exactly.
I feel that.
But not confirmed, but slightly confirmed due to the internet being the internet. Jim Carrey is going to be voicing MODOK.
Yeah, I've seen that, but
I don't think that that's confirmed because what's his name?
knows?
The guy who played Yellow Jacket is coming back to play MODOK.
interesting.
So if you remember,
I guess
if you're
Darren Cross.
Darren
Yeah.
Cross, yes, there's hints to Darren Cross playing him, or not playing him, but them going that route because in Ant-Man, when he folds into himself, his head is the last thing that does it. And then in Loki in the Void, there's a giant version of his head again. That's like in the mountain.
the wasp, the yellow jacket. Yeah.
So I think something happens with his head consistently throughout various timelines in multiverse. And I think what
'cause
we're gonna see,
he turns into MODOK. Cool.
and I think that's
like
what we're
that.
gonna see. I like it too. It's like why
Yeah, 'cause
create a new
he's-
character?
He goes somewhere, and I mean, if it has to do with Ant-Man, it makes sense.
That's kind of hilarious.
My only thing against it is that means that AIM isn't being like created the way that I would like,
You'd like
it to be,
to be
yeah.
created.
It still could, depending on the
But also keep in
They
mind,
need
multiverse,
henchmen.
universe,
They need to
yeah.
fight henchmen. I would
Yeah.
love for AIM to be like the actual main henchman that Ant-Man, like that tracks, you know? Because like
Yeah.
who's Ant-Man, Wasp, and Cassie Lang gonna actually fight in this movie? Like
That's
what
true.
would make sense? But if they have AIM, that's dope, you know? Because
Yeah.
they could be that wacky like villain because Hydra's not around anymore. So
Yeah.
like you have to bring in, they got damage control for the street level, right?
racist.
AIM for the bigger ones. Big facts.
Yeah, but yeah, I get you. They have to fight somebody. That's cool. I mean, I'm looking forward to Ant-Man, and I've never said that before about an Ant-Man movie. So
yeah. Next up after Loki, we're gonna get the Marvels, where we're gonna pick up where
nice.
where Miss Marvel took off. We're gonna finally see Monica Rambeau back, and we're gonna get Brie Larson.
Do you think we're getting the movie to be after what happened in the Marvels, or you think that by the end of the Marvels or middle of the Marvels?
I hope it's after Miss Marvel.
It's gonna be right after Miss Marvel. Fun theory, because I know we didn't really talk Miss Marvel that much. The very last episode of Miss Marvel, in the comics, she's able to shapeshift, but I think what they're gonna end up changing her power
kinda
to
could.
is that when we see Brie Larson, it's not her shapeshifting into Captain Marvel. It's her swapping spots with Captain Marvel.
Yeah, I think that that's going to be the case, and that's why I asked that question. Like, is the Marvels going to be like where we're watching the movie and then we see that same scene that we saw at the end? Of,
I think so.
of Miss
I-
Marvel.
well,
happen
supposedly-
halfway through the film, and then it
Yeah.
continues through. From
Somebody else directed the post-credit scene than the the actual director who did Miss Marvel. So
Gotcha.
I
Well,
think it was the Miss Marvel director.
It
makes sense.
looks way more cinematic as well.
Yeah, I mean
makes
the
sense.
whole what is it called? The ratio is different as
Yeah.
well.
Mhm.
The screen gets cinematic.
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
So
That's interesting.
yeah, I look forward to that. After the Marvels, we finally get November 8th, Blade.
I heard a rumor
Blade.
that Blade is
Blade.
going to be called The Blade.
On there it
How
just
does
says
that
Blade.
change? I understand that. That's what I said. I heard a rumor.
Don't yell at me.
Blade.
How does it change your your like optics of it?
I mean,
Does it do anything to you? You're just like, oh,
I mean, it's
gonna
just
be a
like when
Blade
they
movie,
change.
but it's not Blade. It's The Blade. How do you feel?
I mean,
The Blade.
know, bro. I was
don't
appalled
know.
when I was younger
That
when
just seems like it's about a sword.
Give it to me, Skywalker.
It
Yes,
just-
that's what I'm talking
like,
about.
is this going to be about Blade actually killing vampires, or is it going to be
Or-
involved with the Black Knight? You know,
There
because
we
the
go.
Blade.
There
and
we go.
He shows up at the end.
Yes,
and-
sir.
I mean, I grew up in an era where people were calling Disney Channel the Disney Channel. So
we call the freeway the 91.
Yeah, the 91. Yeah, I can see them being like the Blade, and it's referring to Blade the character, but it could also be referring to that sword. That
Yes.
you
we
mean we're
see.
gonna get a buddy cop show,
No, I think that we're gonna get the Midnight Suns without them doing the Midnight Suns, and it's gonna
Which
be a
is-
Blade movie.
which is sad, but
Yeah.
you know,
But the Blade is gonna be about the Ebony Blade.
Yeah,
yeah.
Not necessarily
After Blade or the Blade.
we'll see.
We'll see.
Stop yelling at me. I don't like when you yell at me.
I'm not yelling. Suck it up.
We have fall 2023. We're getting Ironheart.
Hey,
About time.
Nice.
And
fall
then,
2023. So literally a whole
Next
year
year,
from
yeah.
Black Panther.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Interesting.
And then after that, 2 more shows. We have this is gonna be winter 2023 going into 2024.
Okay.
So has there been a show yet that kind of goes through
Hawkeye.
Hawkeye, there we go. Agatha, Coven of Chaos.
they changed.
They
it, I
changed the
think.
name because it used to be House of Harkness.
But at least
right?
that was the
Yeah.
rumor or the leak. House of Harkness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Coven
So-
of Chaos.
Coven of Chaos. Interesting. I wonder where they're gonna go.
Well, I'm pretty sure we're gonna. I mean, because obviously Agatha's not dead.
You think it'll be a prequel, or you think it'll be her continuation from after what happened
I think
in
it's gonna be.
WandaVision?
I think it's gonna be both. I think it's gonna show her backstory along while we're
They
getting
showed her
real-time
backstory
events.
already.
Yeah, pieces
I
of
think.
it.
WandaVision.
No, I think it'll keep going because there's no more, book of. I forgot what it's called.
The Darkhold.
The
The
Darkhold.
Darkhold.
There's
Do you
no more.
think that caused because of what?
She's gonna be different now. She's not gonna be corrupted.
Do you think we're gonna get the same version or a multiverse version?
No, same version.
Same version. As
still gonna be in
far as
Westview.
what'll happen, I'm not sure what's gonna happen.
So Agatha acted as a babysitter for Mr. Fantastic and Mrs. Fantastic and Sue Storm's child
Yeah.
in the comics. She actually helped Nathaniel, or I don't know if it was actually Nathaniel at that time. It was Franklin Richards, who's a very powerful mutant, probably one of the most powerful mutants ever.
Okay.
Helped. She basically babysat him,
Wait,
and
and his name is Franklin.
yes,
It's hilarious.
Yeah, Franklin Richards. And when I saw that this was coming out so late
Yeah.
and right before Fantastic Four, and then with Kevin Feige saying that it's not an origin story, I'm like, wait, are we going to, not only is this not going to be an origin story, like we might get a full Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
With a child,
Yeah.
with their heyday may be a little bit behind
I
them.
mean, even
Yeah.
in Multiverse of Madness, he was talking about
He has kids.
I have kids and a wife.
So we're gonna
Yeah.
get the linear timeline to where they're at
Exactly.
age-wise.
And that tells me it's like, okay, so we're going to get good Agatha, kind of, but we may get the Fantastic Four in that movie or in that show.
In that show.
know,
One thing I was kind of telling
since it's not
Skywalker
an
on the
origin.
way, right? And it's also confirmed where people. I know we kind of had the discussion beginning of when Multiverse of Madness came out. If we're gonna keep Krasinski, Kevin Feige just had an interview where he confirmed that there's gonna be no Fantastic Four origin. That's gonna jump right in.
Mm-hmm.
And then John Krasinski around that same time, like literally a day or two after, he was on
Jimmy Kimmel?
He was on Fallon.
Or Fallon.
He was on Fallon talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
So you never know. I wouldn't mind him remaining as Reed Richards, even though he got.
it would be the easy thing to do.
And that was going to be where I was going with it. I think that Marvel wants things to be as easy as possible. So with this whole variant situation, they can, even if things behind the scenes, like if it causes a little bit of tension, they'll be like, all right, we'll just switch it and just have John do it. And it'll still be smooth, even if that's not how they're trying to actually do it. And then they could still make that happen. So I think it's kind of a win-win for John. It's like, yo, I played it already. I could play
Emily
it.
Blunt as Sue Storm would be great. I love that.
She just doesn't want to do superhero movies. She's been vocal about that.
Yeah, but if her husband's going to do it...
bag can change your mind.
If your bag can change your mind.
A bag can change your mind.
It's happened for me. I'm out here.
If those kinds of stars, we've seen like primary Avengers at their peak get 20 mil a movie.
Yeah.
She could be like, yo, I need 20 and my husband needs 20.
Dual income,
now
baby.
What?
I think
dual income, baby.
Yeah, we need
I think
40,
it's going to be more because that's going to be a really big movie, pivotal point in the phase,
Fantastic Four?
in the saga alone.
Who do you guys think?
No,
would
in
be
all of where the Marvel universe is going.
Yeah.
Who do you guys think would be a good Johnny Storm?
I don't really want to speculate.
Yeah.
Zac Efron.
I think I'll wait.
I'll wait. I don't care. I don't care because
I've been seeing like from Stranger Things, the dude from Stranger Things.
Yeah.
I don't know his actual name.
I don't know if I
Harrington.
want. I don't know if I want like someone who we can recognize.
Yeah, we'll see. I think it is going to be somebody we'll
then
recognize.
Jason
That's the
Segel
way
as
the
the
whole MCU is moving now. It's like big name, come over here. Big name, come over here.
Star-studded.
But big name for villains, big name for scenes.
Sure.
Not necessarily big name.
Yeah, for villains, there has been big names.
For the hero, you know?
All right, just to keep it pushing, spring 2024, we're getting Daredevil Born Again.
Fantastic. That was the thing that I was really excited about.
Well, were you excited when you saw Daredevil at the end of the She-Hulk trailer?
Yes. I was like, that's pretty dope.
And he has his comic accurate suit.
Yeah, and it's really cool because him in No Way Home, you know, like I like how they're bringing him in. And technically, it should be linear because the Daredevil show still was operating within the MCU. Like it knew about the Battle of New York. So like that same Daredevil is going to be good.
How are they going to release this? Because they said there's like 18 episodes.
18 episodes.
Are they going to do it how they used to do it on Netflix?
I don't know.
Or are we going to have to wait 18 weeks?
We're getting 4 months of movies.
I would love
of shows.
I would love for us to get 18 weeks. I would love for that.
I
Just
don't,
give it
I don't
to
know.
me.
The way, obviously, because of the way Netflix spoon fed us, I don't know if the people are gonna stay.
There's
There's gonna be diehards.
Yeah,
They will.
I would love to get 2 episodes at a time. I wouldn't mind that.
They are because rumor is that Spider-Man is going to be in Daredevil Born Again.
Yeah.
So they're going to be there. Like this is where we're at right now. What they're like, the fact that Daredevil's in She-Hulk, like they're just throwing people in. Like we'll get Moon Knight in the Blade or Blade.
In the Blade.
That's fine
because it creates the story. You know what I mean? And like I think Daredevil's going to be Peter Parker's new mentor. You know, and
street
like
level.
because they're gonna keep Spider-Man street level until huge things go on. And Daredevil knows Spider-Man's identity. No one else knows Spider-Man's identity.
I mean, he could just sense Spider-Man. He doesn't even have to like.
Well, he senses a heartbeat, and he's like, "Oh, well, this is the same heartbeat that Peter had." Like, and I represented him in court, which we saw in No Way Home.
Yeah.
So when he sees Spider-Man, he's gonna be like, "Oh, I know who this dude is."
Yeah.
The thing is that Spidey also knows that Daredevil is Matt Murdock.
Yeah.
So I think that they're gonna keep each other's secret, and they're the only ones that are gonna know each other's secret because no one knows who Spider-Man is
funny.
now.
Yeah.
And that's what's gonna like build them together.
I like that.
I guess the whole
And that's where we're gonna get the
episode
Kingpin
thing
villain.
because this is
We're literally gonna get Daredevil, Spider-Man versus Kingpin. Like I just
Nice.
want everybody to really understand how iconic that is.
I mean, it's gonna be a great show.
I wonder
I'm ready for that.
I wonder what they're gonna do for that to help with the Tom Holland pay and time. If they're going to keep Spidey in the suit the whole time, but just get Tom Holland to do voiceover work.
No, I think that they're gonna that they're gonna pay him, and he's gonna be in it.
You think
Yeah,
so?
I mean, 18 episodes. It's probably going to be the
phase
big.
six. That phase 6, we're getting another Spider-Man movie.
It's probably going to
easy,
be
easy.
the biggest budget for a show.
Yes.
Which is which is very interesting because every other show
also
obviously has a
make-
big budget, but there's
It's honestly probably why it's 18 episodes.
7 episodes.
It's a bigger bag.
I can even see them doing like we'll release half the season now, and then we'll release half the season later.
9 at a time.
It's possible, but
They could be trying something different, like a different delivery method.
because it's going to be the first show with more than
I think it would be
just 8
fire if
episodes.
I think it would be super fire if they just did it 2 episodes a week.
it's possible.
I just said that.
Oh, you did?
I said it at
my
the
fault.
beginning of the convo.
That's some Ren and Stimpy.
No, I thought you talking about that they were going to intro it with 2 episodes,
my
like how they
idea.
normally do.
Oh,
No,
yeah,
like
yeah,
two,
yeah.
no.
That's
if
what
they,
I thought you were
No, they'll
talking
give it
about.
to us two episodes.
They're gonna give us
every week.
4.
2 every week. So it's
Okay.
just 9.
No,
movies.
I'm rolling. I'm
First
rolling.
jump.
I'm good at maths,
I'm
guys.
rolling with you.
I'm good
no,
at maths.
I'm
Quick
rolling with
math.
you. Yeah.
Okay, that's
give
cool.
me a Tuesday and a Friday. Like how awesome would that be?
I
Well,
like that.
And Jessica Jones is rumored to be in it as well.
Well, so also keep in mind they a lot of people didn't notice it, but when they because they just added Jessica Jones on Disney Plus, or did he put it back on Netflix?
They put everything on Disney.
everything's
Okay, so it's on Disney
Disney.
Plus. They kind of changed the name or the title of Jessica Jones, or AKA Jessica Jones. I think is what it's called now.
because Daredevil's looking for Jessica Jones. So it's going to be really interesting because I feel like Jessica Jones isn't going to be known necessarily to Daredevil, but Daredevil's going to be has heard
Jessica
of her.
Jones is such a funny character because she just goes by her name.
Yeah, I mean now it's AKA Jessica Jones, so we don't even know if that's really her name.
Maybe.
Bam, bam, bam.
You know, that's
What else does she go by?
I mean,
I'm not
Jess.
too fond on Jessica Jones.
she
but
does.
I
I
do.
believe she does
like the
have a
show.
superhero name because she has a superhero costume.
Jesse Jones.
I just don't like. I'm not
JJ.
well versed.
Yeah, me neither.
But what's so amazing
J Jonah. Sorry.
is that by the time that this is coming out, like every character could show up in any of these shows. I think Disney has proven that, like, yo, we're gonna do Book of Boba Fett, and we're gonna have Luke and Ahsoka have a conversation.
Yes and no,
you know
but
what I mean?
it's because there's been missed opportunities with like Hawkeye and other Disney Plus
well,
shows. You know
that's
what I mean?
what I'm saying. Like they're opening up the floodgates. Like they're just like,
mean, this
hey,
is what people
whoever
want.
Needs,
Yeah,
whoever
people-
needs to be in there, they're gonna be in there.
People have been saying like, "Oh, we can't keep getting these 6 to 8 episode shows. It's not enough." And
Like,
at that
okay,
point, it
we'll
should
give
just
you
kind of be a
18.
movie. And
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I think people are excited to hear there's 18. I'm
Yeah.
just
Yes.
kind of worried about how they'll release them and if people will stick around for 18 weeks,
I'ma stick
or
around.
if people will like how the Netflix route, just binge it. But I at the same time, yeah, I agree with Enrique. It doesn't seem like something Disney Plus would do because it's kind of like people would forget about it faster.
Can y'all do me a favor? If when I die and if it happens during any of these phases, can you guys watch these shows with my urn?
Sheesh.
You're gonna get cremated.
For the sake of this, yeah.
He's gonna say no, but
For the
he's
sake
gonna
of
have
that.
an urn anyways.
Well, I mean, just like realistically, I mean, I'm not gonna get buried and have you go dig me up so we watch it, or I'm not gonna have
I
you
was
chill.
curious.
I'm not gonna have you chill at the cemetery when we watch.
we'll
it.
watch Marvel Zombies. at
So
the
what I'll
cemetery.
do is in my will. What I'll do, I like that. What I'll do is in my will, I'm gonna leave each of you like a little bit of sincere ash.
Okay. Sincere Ash.
So sincere ash.
Ash.
I'll take
yeah,
your Tesla
sorry.
instead.
Your Tesla.
Damn.
I'll watch it in the Tesla.
Yeah,
There you
that's
go.
what we'll do. See, when you give me your Tesla and your will, then we'll watch it in there, and we'll be like, "Oh man, sincere." I won't even sit in the front seat. I'll sit in the passenger.
All right, that's fair. That's fair.
But all right. So what's
All right,
next?
and
There's
then
a few more.
to
right?
end up phase 5 is gonna be Captain America: New World Order coming out in May of
That
2024.
one I'm confused about. I have no idea what it's
the
going to be
most
about.
generic name. For
I
a
think they're
movie.
going to change it.
Yeah, I hope so.
I don't think they'll change it.
World Order.
I think it's gonna be a multiverse movie. I think we're gonna get Hydra Captain America, and I think Chris Evans is gonna come back as Cap.
I don't know.
Nah, I don't think they'll waste
This
it.
is the only this is the only
waste.
reason I'm gonna think that
They
is
already had
because
that chance.
Chris Evans has been doing so good in villain roles, from the Gray Man
only had
to
one.
Knives Out. No, Gray Man and Knives Out.
The Gray Man. I saw it. It was okay.
Yeah, it was fine.
But all that to say, I think we can, because we've obviously saw that there's
Okay.
like a Hydra multiverse.
It's interesting.
I
That's
think
interesting.
That's my theory.
I'm thinking.
Or I think Sam would get thrown into a multiverse where there's a new world order.
I don't want to see that.
I know. I don't either. But I think that's how they would do it. Because unless everything that's building up in the street is going to be a lot worse implications. Now I could see them going the Norman Osborn route, right? And with the New World Order, it's like we have the actual
Illuminati.
Iron Patriot. We have the actual Illuminati, of our world, and Captain America's against that. I could see that.
That's the thing I think about when I hear New World Order.
Yeah.
Illuminati. So
Fuck Free World 313.
we'll see.
Okay, and then just to jump through it real quick.
Wait, before we go to the Phase 6, I would say we did not see Armor Wars.
Yeah.
No, we did
there's
not.
a few.
I noted
X-Men
that.
97.
And Thunderbolts.
Marvel Zombies.
Right.
Well, I'm not really counting the animated stuff.
Okay.
I know that it's canon, but as far as live action is concerned, we didn't get Armor Wars.
No Thunderbolts.
And no Thunderbolts. Even though the Thunderbolts have been announced.
It's been a confirmed movie,
confirmed,
but it's
not
gonna be
listed in the phases yet.
Yeah, it's gonna be Phase 6 because we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 empty spots on this Phase 6 lineup.
Got you. How do you guys feel about Armor Wars not being? You feel like that they just tossed the story and was like,
no, supposedly the director came out and said, tweeted, it's still coming, but I don't know where. Because you would have thought, they're already lining up the phases. They drop it into Phase 5.
Norik,
especially since it's been announced.
What's the OG Armor Wars story?
I don't know. I don't know the OG Armor Wars story. From what I've heard is it deals with Tony and Rhodey, and there's multiple armors. It's pretty much kind of what Iron Man 3 was, with all of his armors, but turning on him in a way, and people were building all of this stuff. It's all of these things, and Tony kind of gets fed up and.
Most likely it's going to get dropped in 6. It'll probably have to do with mutants.
But because they killed Tony...
Yeah, because that's one thing that
what's the story,
Yeah.
And
Rhodey.
We thought that it would be Rhodey, maybe Vision...
Ironheart, maybe.
Ironheart. But Ironheart seems like it's going to be isolated. It'll have its own show. I feel like Armor Wars is getting split up. I think Armor Wars is going to be in... Secret Invasion. I think Armor Wars is going to be an Ironheart. I think Don Cheadle is going to be the street level hero that pops up in all of these different
as where Wong
things.
is more of the
because it's weird because
Yep.
Armor Wars has been announced since when Hawkeye, She-Hulk.
Oh yeah, it was one of the first shows that got announced.
We technically should have gotten it by now.
We should have gotten it. We definitely should have gotten it.
So we're getting Secret Invasion before.
Bro,
Armor Wars,
and that's what I'm saying. So I feel and we can't discount the scrolls. There are other things that are kind of involved that they haven't really shown.
It's been a long time since the scrolls have been on Earth.
Damn,
since the 90s.
Well, they're still here. They're among us. I think that they're going to reveal that in Secret Invasion that a lot of the people that we saw have been scrolls. Yeah, scrolls were involved in the Endgame fight. All of these different. I hope that they start showing different views of what happened during the Endgame fight. Yeah. Just to show the
for sure, because Nick Fury has kind of been the mastermind behind all the scrolls.
Yeah, Nick Fury was dusted. Why wouldn't they bring him back for the Endgame fight? Yeah. Mm-hmm. When did he come back? Now, they may show that. They may show him coming back from the dust in Secret Invasion and be like, oh, snap, what do I got to do now?
Damn.
Or where are we at?
Damn.
So there's a lot of things that they got going on. But yeah, let's go to Phase 6 and just kind of speculate. What do you think they have to put in Phase 6?
So there's one empty spot before we get Fantastic Four, because we're supposed to get Fantastic Four in November of 2024. Mm-hmm. There's something happening in fall. We don't know if it's gonna be a show or a movie. Mm-hmm. So Armor Wars could fit right there.
It could.
I wouldn't mind it fitting right there because it would come right after Captain America, which would make sense.
It's kind of and that's what Captain America is placed in a very precarious spot, because I feel like narratively, Agatha dealing with the Fantastic Four and their kids, and then Daredevil dealing with Kingpin and Spider-Man, and we're gonna have future Foundation kind of
being laid out.
Yeah, and Spider-Man being involved, because Spider-Man is also gonna be in the Fantastic Four movie. So. At least rumored.
Is that confirmed? Or,
No, it's rumored. Rumored that Spider-Man is going to be in Daredevil and in the Fantastic Four movie.
Why would? Okay. So I'm just curious what route they're going to go for the Fantastic Four movie, but that's.
I think they're going to be well established. I thought it was going to be kind of established, like where they're maybe a few
we've
years in, but I think
technically-
they're going to be well.
I mean, we saw the
established.
Baxter Building in Spider-Man. The atrium that Spider-Man flies through. Isn't that the Baxter Building?
They didn't confirm.
Yeah,
that.
that's not confirmed.
No, yeah,
So-
confirm that.
So my thing, I'm waiting on an X-Men announcement.
Who bought Avengers Tower?
It had to be Reed
Professor
Richards,
X.
bro.
Had
Just
to be
kidding. I don't
the
know.
feds.
I mean, I don't know.
FedEx.
I'm really waiting on the X-Men, and they've been teasing it. Obviously, we got Professor X, Multiverse of Madness, Miss Marvel is a mutant now. Deadpool movie has been confirmed. Didn't
Think
see it
Deadpool's
anywhere.
Deadpool's gonna
so-
land in Phase 6.
That's one of the.
We're gonna-
I wouldn't be surprised if the Deadpool movie closed out Phase 6.
No.
Namor is also a mutant as well. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't
Well,
doubt.
did they officially say that? Oh, they said it in the description, right? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we're gonna get Deadpool in the middle of Phase 6, where it's gonna happen winter 2025, which would be like January.
Deadpool's not going to be in an Avengers movie. They won't.
no.
They're not going to do it.
Well, more
come
so.
after.
More so. Deadpool 3 is gonna be in Phase
Phase
6.
6.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be in Phase 6, but I was saying it was going to close out. Because if it comes out before, people are going to be pissed if Deadpool's not in
Well,
the
because
Avengers movie.
Avengers Secret War is supposed to close out the year, Phase 6. So Deadpool wouldn't close it out, and it wouldn't make sense. I mean, you could just throw
Far
Deadpool.
From Home closed out Phase 3.
What comes out first, Secret Wars or Kang Dynasty?
King Dynasty
King
comes first.
Dynasties first.
Oh, okay.
Watch for what's
Wars,
gonna-
That one- that's
Secret
the
Wars, I
one-
could see Deadpool popping up and then going into Deadpool.
Yeah.
Well, so
3
what's
to
going to
movie.
happen, in my opinion, just going based off of King Dynasty and Secret Wars, just to kind of like speed up, is that we're going to get Kang as the big bag, and then in King Dynasty, Kang's going to die, but then that's where Doctor Doom is going to pick up, and then that's where Secret Wars is going to come in, and we're going to have the Doom as the villain, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, a version of Kang will die. There's several Kangs.
He's everlasting.
Yeah.
No
So-
gobstopper.
We'll see. I mean, I'm just waiting for some type of X-Men announcement, even if they're trying to create their own team before.
So going based on that, Fox just confirmed with the contract with Disney that Disney and Marvel were not allowed to recast anybody from the original Fox X-Men until the year 2025.
Yeah.
Which is why we're able to get Charles Xavier in Multiverse of Madness and able to get Evan Peters as Quicksilver technically.
Yeah.
Even
Because
though
they
he-
have to use
Even though
those
he was
ones.
Ralph
Makes
Boner.
sense.
Ralph Bonner.
Yeah,
He's supposed to show up in another
He's going to show up in another show. I just
forgot.
I don't know.
Secret Invasion? No. I don't know. But like it's like what is he gonna be if he's
I don't know.
Because they said he's gonna be somebody else other than Ralph Bonner.
Well, I think
Ralph
okay.
Boner.
So I don't think that we're getting mutants for a long time because
I agree.
they have to
It's all a
save them.
build up right now.
They
They-
teased
they-
it too soon.
Well, it's just they have to save them.
Yeah.
They have to, and they have to figure out a way to integrate them in, and because
They just keep dropping that. Da-na-na-na-na-na.
yeah, well, there's just
So,
like main heroes that have died, you know,
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
like you can't blow your load, for lack of a better term, with
see the thing is
bringing in X-Men and Fantastic
Yeah.
Four back to back.
Yeah.
You
So the
can't.
thing with Fantastic Four, Kevin Feige said this is not going to be an origin
Mm-hmm.
movie, already confirming that the Fantastic Four are already in.
They're
the,
operating.
Yeah,
They're operating
So
and
it's kind of it
established.
sucks that we have to wait until the movie, or maybe they'll surprise us in a show or another movie.
That's what they're gonna do. Like Fantastic Four is gonna.
I mean,
that's
we
what I'm
kind of
saying.
already
Agatha,
did.
I think they're gonna pull up and act. That's the way that you draw them in. That's
There's
how
also
they're
been
doing it.
rumors Ben
I like
Grimm
that.
is going to be in She-Hulk.
Oh yeah, and like some of the members will be peppered
Yeah,
throughout.
because there's a lot of street level villains and heroes in She-Hulk.
Yeah.
Yeah, what it seems
cool.
like is they're gonna just throw people in, and the names of the story is just like it's like a comic book. It's like
Yeah.
I'm reading a Spider-Man comic, but shit, Wolverine might pop up in here.
Silver
Like I don't know,
Surfer.
Yeah.
and it doesn't have to be on the cover.
Yeah.
You'll just be reading, and all of a sudden, Wolverine's the guy who
Well, that's
delivers
yeah.
the information. So they're
Yeah.
gonna just start doing that now.
Yeah.
Because everything is
Which
going to
is
be
fine.
plot based, you
Yeah.
know? So it's like this story will encompass these actors, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh, snap.
I mean, you see it in Black Panther. There's Ironheart, Namor. And
It's other people
Whole
that are going to
Wakanda
start
tribe,
pulling
yeah.
up.
Yeah.
Every major movie will not be a concentrated movie without these other characters. I think Shang-Chi 2 is going to be in
Phase 6.
Yes.
Well, because it's going to reel us back in with artifacts.
Yeah.
Because we still don't know where the rings came from.
Well, that's what Kang's going after.
The artifacts?
I think that's going to have something to do with it. I think everyone's artifact is going to have something to do with taking down Kang.
I like that.
Yeah. I mean, the one that surprised me the most was the two Avengers movies in 1 year.
If they pull that off,
because it's never happened before.
Because I have a little faith that Secret Wars is not going to get pushed back. Like I'm 99% sure it's going to get pushed back. But if we get 2 Avengers movies in 1 year, that's nuts.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, the way they're rolling, this full steam ahead.
They're full steam ahead, bro.
Not a lot of stuff is getting pushed back anymore, especially if they're not.
No.
You know, like Enrique said, we're getting out of the pandemic.
Damn, the world we live in, bro. Mm-hmm. What a time.
But yeah,
it's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
I think I don't know if those Avengers movies are going to be good. I think it's still too early to tell. You know, a lot of people were like, "Oh, who are the Avengers?" And I really started like thinking about like who's active and available.
Yeah.
And they still have a solid group that's active and available who can take on certain threats. You know,
yeah.
You still have Doctor Strange that's in the mix. You still have Wong.
Thor.
You still have Thor. You have Captain America Sam.
Bucky.
You got Bucky. You have
Captain
Shang-Chi.
Marvel.
You have Captain Marvel. Like, there's some powerhouses that are still here, you know, that are around without adding the Fantastic Four, without adding you know, Daredevil or Spider-Man,
Ironheart, and then getting the new Black Panther.
Bro,
yeah,
they're still stacked. Namor being a part of like Ant-Man and like they are still stacked. It's still a full thing just because Iron Man and Chris Evans and even She-Hulk, you know, like they got it. I was surprised that they killed Jane and Thor, you know, but
how else are going to set up Valhalla?
Yeah, I think they'll be able to somehow.
They could easily do that without
bring people back.
Killing.
Yeah.
But she's going to be the draw for when Valhalla comes out.
What do you mean when Valhalla comes out?
I think there's
like when they do something regarding Valhalla.
Like I think there's going to be a show around
Valhalla.
Oh, really?
Guardians.
You think so?
I think so. I mean, why else would they show it?
Why else would they show Valhalla like that and bring back Idris Elba?
You know,
well, I feel like just because they haven't, that's like the closed loop, right?
I suppose it's just like I feel like they could do something with it.
Yeah, especially just knowing Marvel, leaving something like that open ended.
I think if they did an Asgardian show, it would have to be a Valkyrie show.
I love Tessa Thompson.
That's what it would have to be a Valkyrie show that we're seeing.
But she even speaks about Valhalla, so it can incorporate both.
I did see a video that talked about the Enchantress coming into play because during
there's a lot
during like the time that
there is a lot.
When Thor Ragnarok happened and then Infinity War, like a lot of Asgard was destroyed, but I think Thor or Valkyrie made mention that they like sent people out to like find new homes and stuff like that. And if that took place in between Infinity War and Endgame, they could have been doing a lot, dying, trying to find this, only to come back to New Asgard and see it be a shell of what Asgard could be. And people were saying like Enchantress could be one of those people.
Yeah, I mean everything.
I thought it was interesting.
Everything sounds interesting and fun. Right now it seems a little weird because of Phase 4. And
it's gonna go down as classic.
Yeah, I don't know. Right now it's just the CGI kind of ruins some things for me, especially Moon Knight.
Yeah,
and She-Hulk. I loved Moon Knight.
They'll update it.
It's just eventually. but yeah, I mean it's cool. There was a lot of stuff that came out for San Diego Comic-Con for Marvel, and
then Marvel kind of
they stole the show. I mean, they always steal the show. They're not gonna. I mean, they're literally announcing like 10 movies, and everybody else is like,
"Do we want to
have one movie?
Do we want to touch on?
I was gonna say, do we want to go to DC and their two trailers that they dropped?
Yeah, I mean it's cool. I mean it's something that we've already known is coming.
A sinking ship.
They didn't say anything about Flash. It's like,
bruh.
Well, it's because half of their cast is locked up.
No Aquaman.
DC is like what is it? The Florida Gators.
Oh no!
It's just
DC's the Florida Gators. Wonder Woman is Tim Tebow. And you got Ezra is homeboy from the Patriots. Who's killing people.
Yeah.
You got Aquaman or Amber Heard is the other dude that was on the Gators who like got domestic violence. Like it's crazy.
See, DC has had the worst luck, and I don't know what it is. They can't keep it together.
The Rock can't do it, bro. He's the people's champ,
I don't know.
but he can't.
It looks good. I'm not gonna lie.
I feel you.
Just
Black Adam looks good.
It's not gonna connect to nothing though.
How
it can't.
Well,
how high is the probability of Kevin Hart having a cameo in this
not
movie?
likely. He already is in a DC movie, The Super Pets. So
is The Rock.
Yeah, that's good enough for that. That's all we need.
I could see Kevin coming in at some point.
I see him having a small cameo.
But
yeah,
it's just
supposedly there's rumors that Superman might be in Black Adam.
Nah, bro, he's not.
He'll be in Shazam.
Yeah, he could be in Shazam, headless.
He's not. Like that's the thing. DC
I think he will.
Is in such a hole because every one of their new DC movies is attached to Zack Snyder's DC universe.
And that's the thing.
Which is so stupid.
They're not going to continue.
They just got a new president who actually greenlit 300 for Zack Snyder while everybody else was against it. And he used to be with WB. He retired. And then Disney was like, no, come over here.
Yeah.
And then he pretty much mentored Kevin Feige. Mm-hmm. And then he's like, all right, I'm going to retire. And then DC and WB were like, no, come back. And he's like, all right. So now he's back at WB. And I feel like, obviously it's too late to save things, but the Snyderverse is still on the table.
Well, here's the thing. I would agree with you if Snyder's actors that he chose were upstanding actors.
Well, Batman is going to be in Aquaman.
Yeah, it's already confirmed that Affleck's coming back.
Affleck is coming. Well, he's supposed to be in The Flash also. But the thing
is, The Flash is also supposed to be in The Flash, and I don't think that's going to happen.
Bro, it's not going to happen. That's real. That's so real.
Yo.
He's getting locked up, bro. They're going to lock him up. Amber Heard is not going to be in it. I feel bad for Jason Momoa. You don't greenlight a Man of Steel 2. That's the only thing that could save them.
That's what I'm saying.
If they come out and they're like, Henry came back. We paid him the bag.
He wants to come back, and they're just like,
we gave him the $50 million.
We don't
he
like
needs
you.
50, bro. He needs 50.
50
plus the bag on
50
Netflix
and 1%
too.
of the box office.
50. He needs 50.
1%.
You can't play. You can't play. We are at a point right now where you can't play.
Yeah.
And they're playing.
There was rumors that he was gonna come out and
he got
he
COVID.
didn't show up. He got COVID, and it was also confirmed because The Witcher.
You got to show up video. You got to show up by video. I'm sorry.
Hey guys,
well, when you have COVID, like
you show up by video.
Who knows how bad it was? Though.
Hey guys,
I mean, we see how people.
Hey man, he's Superman.
Nah, we're used to that though. Yeah, but it's not like it's something that we haven't seen. We're used to it. We're used to people being sick on camera.
But usually those recorded ones are pre-planned, and I think it was planned for him to show up, and then last minute he had to take the COVID test, and like, yeah, you can't come. And then he's like, damn, well, let's not ruin
me shoot
it.
This video.
Maybe he wanted to. You know, WBDC. They're like, nah.
Welcome to the WB.
Yeah.
That's my point. Is that if you aren't making these smart decisions to get the reaction that you need,
you know what's funny?
What is you doing?
If Henry Cavill would have showed up, it would have made up for just these two announcements.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It would have been game over.
Yeah.
Everyone would have said, "Oh, we're back."
But it gives me hope. It gives me hope.
There's no hope.
There's hope.
There's no hope.
That you see that emblem, the S. That stands for hope.
That's for shit.
And then we also got some other cool things. I
don't think we'll ever see the Flash movie. I don't think we're ever.
Wasn't it going to come out this year?
Yeah,
got pushed back.
Yeah, bro.
It has Michael Keaton reprising his role as Batman.
He didn't even want to come back.
You're telling me that movie's not going to come out
not only
because the lead actor was bluffing?
They're gonna have to reshoot that whole shit. If
You
they wanna
have to
it.
do it all over again.
Yeah, we'll see.
How do you do it all over again? Michael Keaton's not going to do it again. So what do you do?
He didn't want to do it in the first place.
He didn't want to do it in the
what
first place.
What do you do? You scrap it. It's going to be a whole new movie.
It was gone in the Flash.
I think it'll come out. I mean, Morbius came out. Shit. So
Morbius came out twice.
This is a totally different story, but yeah.
No, that's true. It's a totally different story.
All right,
there's a few other things that I just want to quick
fucking
give
Ezra
mentions.
Miller, bro.
John
Alright,
Wick
easy.
4 trailer.
Hey,
Long-awaited.
I did not watch it because I was like, I'm gonna
was
I'm gonna wait.
fantastic.
I'm gonna wait.
Donnie
Yeah.
Yen, let's go.
There's also an adult animated Avatar movie with Aang and everybody.
Where they're gonna be in their
Very
young adult
excited.
age, which is
Very,
gonna be super
very
fire.
excited.
I'm also what did they said what type of animation they were doing, right?
It's the same thing.
Same. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
I'm very, very excited for that. Shout out to
I wonder
Mike
if Dave
and Brian.
Filoni will be a part of it.
I hope
No,
so.
there's not. No, Mike and Brian got it covered. Avatar Studios. Very,
Nice.
very excited for them to be doing this. Like, give them a round of applause
Yeah,
for that.
and then we also
they fought really, really hard
Huzzah!
to get that and to keep creative control. And I'm really, really excited for it. However, I will say that Netflix and their Avatar show, they might be onto something because their casting is phenomenal.
Yeah.
And Mike and Brian stepped away because of creative differences.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that separation caused Netflix to kind of rethink what they're doing and be like, all right, like maybe we should just make this true to what it needs to be.
could be.
And if that's the case, that's a W for the year. Like for a company that big to say, hey, yo, we messed up. Because most of the time, whenever we look
We
at creative
messed up.
differences, we always think it's the studio, right? The studio was like, yo, the creator wanted to do something great. But I feel like creators, if you have Taika Waititi, like you got to tell him no sometimes. Like, bro, we can't do that. Like,
That's what
it's
Marvel
not-
should.
big facts. But, with Netflix and Brian, them stepping away and them having this deal, they're like, yo, we can get Avatar Studios. It may not be as, like, bad as we thought.
No, yeah.
Netflix may have just been like, okay, cool. We're going to just do our thing with this.
Yeah,
So
Netflix is making some interesting moves.
we will
and
have another
decisions.
Streaming Wars episode very, very soon because it's about that time to clock in to see where we're at before we get to the end of the year.
Yeah. So, and then finally, one of the other highlights is the Walking Dead mini series coming back with Andrew Lincoln and Danae Guerrero. I'm botching it. I'm sorry, Michonne.
Shame on you.
But
Hey man, I don't watch The Walking Dead. I don't care. I don't know.
I love The
Ooh,
Walking Dead.
Blasphemous.
I love The Walking. You caught up over there, James Cam, on The Walking Dead? Yeah, I'm not
He's
caught
shaking
up.
his
but
head, yes.
I will get caught up because my good friend Nappy is always telling me to catch up. So
I don't understand The Walking Dead if everyone turns into zombies anyway.
well, they're looking for the cure, so we'll see. But the thing with The Walking Dead is people are so invested in these characters with Rick and Michonne, and
Rick Grimes.
they literally like the way they ended their arcs in like I think it was like season 7 or 8 or whatever. It was just people were like, wait, what? So he was supposed to come back. There was supposed to be a movie, never happened. So I'm glad this is coming out, and he was there to confirm it. I'm excited. I'm excited to see where his journey ends.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we got some good footage. Dungeons and Dragons was announced.
Yeah, that looks
one's
fire.
cool.
Chris Pine, which is interesting. Of
love
course,
Dungeons and
the Lord of the
Dragons.
Rings show is coming out this month.
Yes.
Game of Thrones is
It's
coming out
funny
this month.
because Game of Thrones, and I saw a Game of Thrones trailer, and I was like, damn, Lord of the Rings looks good. And I'm like, oh, this is Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
The only thing that I'm worried about is, again, those are such big shows that require lots of people
Yeah.
Yeah.
that they shot it during COVID. And I'm scared because
Yeah.
I'm not trying to
The
see
Rona.
I have
battles.
a friend who's a huge fan of both, and
Guarantee they're going to have nothing but bridge battles so that they can make sure that 40 people on a bridge looks like 200 people fighting each other.
yeah. Hey, Zack Snyder was able to do it in 300.
Yeah. He
Blue
was smart.
screen.
He was a little bit ahead
Blue
of his time. He was ahead of his time.
Yeah.
And the way it was shot was awesome.
And we have, just to top it off, just to end it off, we got some
The
stream
cherry on top of
suggestions.
what is episode 70.
Yeah. Streaming suggestions. Sorry, I got ahead of myself. I got one.
I have
Netflix
one.
show, Resident Evil.
I've heard too many mixed reviews, and I've actually never really
It's
been
cool.
a fan of
I
the
mean,
movies.
Resident Evil's always had mixed reviews because the movies aren't adapted to the games, and then the games.
I'm
are
honestly just
not the
excited because they're
movies.
remastering Resident Evil 3 or 2.
Yeah. Well, the thing with the Resident Evil show is it adapts the video game a little bit.
Nice.
It has
Adam West?
Albert Wesker.
Yeah.
In it. So
Wesker's in it.
Wesker's in the show. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
So yeah. So
that's dope.
I like the show.
That
a lot.
might get me to watch it. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah.
You down to watch one episode together and see if it
Sure, why not?
let's do it.
Yeah, it's cool. I like the show. I finished it. They're hopefully working on a season 2. We'll see. 'Cause for some reason, sometimes no matter how good the show ends, Netflix is like, nah.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Narik, do you have any streaming suggestions?
I do not. Not at this time.
Aw.
Browse, guys. Browse.
And then you got the bear. What's
Yeah,
the bear?
so The Bear, I think you would love this show.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's next on my list.
Because
Okay,
John
perfect.
Bernthal?
So John Bernthal is in the show,
my guy.
but he's not a lead. Jeremy Allen White, he's best known for his
Kind of don't want to know too much.
quick synopsis.
I don't know. Was that selfish of me? I was just
No,
like
it's fine.
give me spoiler free without like really going into it. 'Cause,
Yeah.
I'm trying
I'll
to
just give you this
go in
quick
blind.
synopsis.
Yeah.
Family-owned restaurant. Older brother owns it. Older brother dies. Younger brother takes it over. The younger brother was never allowed to work in the restaurant. So because of that, he went on to do great culinary things. Long story short, when the brother died, he left his job as a head chef at the best restaurant in the world to go and run his family's little roast beef sandwich shop in Chicago.
Love
Roast
that.
beef.
Roast beef. Great cast, great show. 8 episodes. Crack. John Bernthal was like, he's probably the biggest star in that show, but it honestly does not like, when he does appear in the show,
He's still not that big.
no, it's just like it just fits perfectly right
He's
in.
getting
It doesn't
there.
feel like they try to use him for like a cash grab. Like everything about the show is just executed perfect. And then the name The Bear just comes from the name of the restaurant that the younger brother and the older brother wanted to open up.
The best thing that happened to John Bernthal is that they killed him off in The Walking Dead. People love that because he died, and they're like, oh, like when somebody dies, like they love the character so much more, and he played the character so well. He was able to like acquire way better roles, while Andrew Lincoln stayed on the show and is kind of not anywhere right now.
Yeah. Sometimes you want a quick out. You know, look at Pedro Pascal.
Pedro Pascal.
There's other like
Jason Momoa.
if you're on a
Died
really
early.
good show, if you're on a really good show and you make your mark and you're dead, like you can get other opportunities.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Daniel Radcliffe. Jeez.
He's Weird Al now.
Nah, hey, but honestly, I would say look at his cast members. Look at Hermione and look at Ron.
Yeah,
where they at?
yeah,
You
for
know,
sure. They're
So
not
I
worried.
give props to Daniel Radcliffe.
He
still
tried.
going.
He tried.
Rupert Grint's on a show, and I think it's on HBO Max.
He
and
does
he's
like
killing it.
Broadway and stuff too. So like,
Does
it's
he?
like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Nice. Cool.
You know.
All right. Well, that's the end of it.
Well, thank you for coming
Pretty
to our
long.
hefty. This is probably our heftiest episode yet.
Nah.
I love it.
you
Just so
guys
much
are hefty.
jam packed.
I think our heftiest episode is still Tron versus Tron.
We
That was a-
gotta stop bringing that up.
Tron versus
I'm
Tron?
just saying it's hefty in the sense there's a lot jam packed into this
Just,
episode.
no, we don't
There's a
have
lot
to
of
talk
jam.
about that. We don't have to talk about that.
A lot of
They
jam
love
and
us.
peanut
They
butter.
love hearing that we talk.
No, I thought
We have to love us talking.
I do love us talking.
All right, then. We
It was
gonna
just a-
talk, and they gonna love it.
I just love order, and it's so much happened in this episode, and I'm very emotional right now.
All righty.
Go ahead,
We'll end
close
it
it
there.
out.
Thank you for joining us. We'll be back with more very soon. Peace out.
Will
y'all.
we?
Will we?
Will we? That's the question.
Yes.
Will they?
And if you want to start a podcast, go to productiveculture.com/podcast. Tell them we sent you.
But remember, guys, they don't have to be this long.
They could be whatever length. You could be 5 minutes.
Narik just tries to make fun of me sometimes, and I hope he
just
knows.
saying, bro.
I hope he knows that
There's
one of these
sentiment.
days, when he needs my help, I'm gonna help him.
Thank you.
When you needed him the most.
I appreciate that.
I'm gonna help him,
Vanished.
Nice. We can go off.
and
of
then
that.
I'm gonna help him, but I'm just not gonna pull up. I'm gonna become the most dependable person, and then just stop.
All righty, y'all. Peace out.
Bye.
Love y'all.